A very good morning once again. Moki Grandma Felicia. Yami Tony. Ekaro. Either Lorico Media YouTube. Nobody level mama switch it off. The man like to join me Lori Star Radio. And the Lori backup channel.
My exchange rates are excellent. You can see for this.
As we prepare for the morning program. We get ready again. Only Only video Tinubu kan tí mo gbọ́ láàárọ̀ on my way out. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n play fún wa. This was about 11 years ago. Nígbà táwọn PDP ṣì wà lórí oyè. Mo ń bọ̀ ó máa play fún wa nísìn. Ẹ kò gbogbo kan tí a bá sọ internet ò kí ń gbàgbé. Ó ní kankan tí mo search fún láàárọ̀ ẹ̀. Mo wá lọ bá Tinubu pàdé ní ó dà ń pò lọ sí event àwọn Democrat ní 11 years ago. So it was interview. Ó dà ń pé bíi Jonathan or I don't know who was on the ẹni tó wà lórí yìí nígbà yẹn. So what I'm gonna do ẹja fi Lucky Dube ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ because YouTube máa padà yọ anyway mi kọ́ mo ní. Ǹdẹ́ mi kọ́ máa fi ń gbádùn ara mi láàárọ̀ kí n tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ program yẹn so that to keep my energy burning because I need a lot of energy. Mo kí Aziz, mo kí Atobi mi, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri. Ẹ nílé rí fídíò yẹn ẹ kàn máa gbọ́ ni. I was invited by the Democrats. It's just about 1 minute 50 seconds. Mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká jọ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí Tinubu sọ ní 11 years ago. Advert máa wá.
I need to tell you something.
Tàbá ń sọ fún yín pé advert kan ló ń play nísìn lórí channels. That means they are making a revenue. Aziz, gbogbo léńkì ẹ kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi àtàtà. So, tí bá ní ẹ support media, ìjọ Saturday lágbára Ọlọ́run, ẹ lọ make sure pé ẹ prepare. We need everybody, like it doesn't matter how small. Koiki Media fundraising this Saturday, 3 hours program tá máa ṣe fundraising ni. So fundraising lágbára Ọlọ́run àbò yín láṣìírí ẹ lè support wa àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ àbẹ́ ní support so ẹ rí pé channels television advert ló kọ́kọ́ máa play kí n tó gbọ́ fídíò yẹn that means pé channels is a monetization channel channels television tó ń make owó Nàìjíríà ó tún gba owó lórí YouTube so gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà náà ó ní 1000 ó ní 500 a máa fi oríṣiríṣi àkáǹtì wa sílẹ̀ àkáǹtì àfihàn operate lórí Koiki Media so that you can be able to help us because there's a lot of work that we need to do and we need the funding to be able to do those work. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Mo ṣì ní 20 minutes kí n tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Star Radio. So let me make use of that 20 minutes. So ẹ jẹ́ ká jẹ́ kí advert yẹn tán ká wá gbọ́. Then níjọ́ on the 30 ó dà pé mo rí àwọn ìlànà máa ṣe nǹkan kan ní on the 30. Gbogbo ẹ̀ la máa ṣàlàyé fúnra wa later. But mo fẹ́ ká gbọ́dọ̀ Tinubu rẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jẹ́ ká advert yẹn náà.
Nonsense! The microwave is for soup or drying socks. I want mine warm too.
So advert yẹn láti
Love every bit.
All right. Oh yeah,
I don't want to give any presence to whatever they are saying. It doesn't distract from the fact that I was at the convention. I was invited properly, and I've an honored guest, position. So, who are they that I have need to prove anything to them? How was that? And what's their business? Is that about the high unemployment in this country? Is that about lack of food on the tables and in the kitchen of the poor? Is that about electricity that it cannot even properly privatize? Blackmailing the honorable minister and forcing somebody to resign because they want to turn it to family patrimony? Is that the cause of infrastructure that is lacking in this country? Is that shouldn't we even share knowledge, acquire knowledge, to really understand, what a nation needs.
How prepared are you for next month's election in the states?
We are very, very prepared. The candidate working hard, the party is working very hard. All our structure are in place. And as long as the election is well monitored, policed, and controlled, we are very sure of victory.
All right, that was the form. The format. That was Tinubu.
When giving to charity,
Hold on.
people are real.
What I'm gonna do now, my way war reaction. That was 11 years ago when Tinubu was interviewed. He's now at the realm of the affairs. He doesn't have any more excuse. Abi got the matamala to support here. Tinubu doesn't have any more, excuse to tell us that inti ambere fun awon ohun ni le se when it comes to fixing Nigeria. We're really struggling with our Facebook. I don't know what is going on. Mofe, I'm live as well right now on the backup channel. That means Eitewa Lori Koiki Media, YouTube ni koni so to ba ti di 11 mo ma switch it off. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ bá wa lọ sí ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa lọ sórí backup channel yẹn. A lot of you have not yet joined the backup channel. It's not good for us. We want you to be there. We need you to be there so that kájọ máa ṣe. Mo máa play video yẹn padà again, but mo fẹ́ kọ́kọ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé okay, let me do something.
Making the rounds in other parts of the world as well. And the same round going straight. I
need my audio, my mic on this backup channel. Yeah, my mic is on there right now. So enter our lori backup channel. About Mureni Tiwa Nibe. Enter our lori Koiki Media. When it is 11 o'clock, I'm gonna switch it off. Just our quick lecture, but as usual, I'm busy. So I've been on the road as usual. But I do quite for long. I'm back home now. Do what we love to do best, which is talking to people. Tó bá yẹ pé gbogbo tí mo ṣe nínú ilé tí mo bá ní iná tí kò bá sí electricity, a lot of you can do the same thing, but you need electricity, you need the technology to be there, you need the device. We can have as many of you as our correspondent, but nígbà tí ẹ bá ní iná lórí device yín báwo la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe. Okay, ó dà nígbà tó lọ sábẹ́ òkúta lélẹ̀ àgbẹ̀.
This ain't you.
Okay. This was after the OFE contest. So let me first share the channel of the backup channel, and I'm going to post now sorry Facebook channel to STARR Radio. So I can copy for any link backup channel so that keep going on. See, I might disconnect the Facebook now so that I'll see all the software later. So we want you to be with us on all the platforms, especially so that ahead of the game as well. So now I'm going to share the link so that link it on Sonya Okomanika Losibe ni ko yewa. So now that link is right there. Multi posted and say that is the backup channel. I can see it there. So Egbawole Eli Losibe ke lo joko sínú ẹ for now. In tí mo ṣe ó reflect níbẹ̀ náà. But tó bá ti di 11 I'm a disconnect delay. If you really want to follow what we're doing, you have to also come along with what we say so that it helps everybody. We're really having problem with the Facebook. I don't know what is wrong with them, but I don't care because at the end of the day it's now a platform. So by this stage I might disconnect the Facebook, but I probably use something else. But for now let me bring that video back again while it's just a minute video. And then we will continue talking. Few things I picked up in the Metro newspaper. I'm sorry, debrief for you before we go into STARR Radio. These are still about 12 minutes. So this was Tinubu again here. Let me bring the video back up here. So my laptop ni wa buy a Larry. Yeah. Let's remove the advert. Nisuru Tinubu Jagaban of our time. So now at least everyone can see. That is Tinubu there, right? So, this was 11 years ago. Abi 11 years ago, Lele. So, I hope I can. Let me just play.
If any credential, to whatever they are saying, it doesn't distract from the fact that, I was at the convention. I was invited properly, and have an honored guest, position. So, who are they that I have need to prove anything to them? How was that? And what's their business? Is that about the high unemployment in this country? Is that about lack of food on the tables and in the kitchen of the poor? Is that about electricity that they cannot even properly privatize? Blackmailing the honorable minister and forcing somebody to resign because they want to turn it to family patrimony? Is that, the cause of infrastructure that is lacking in this country? Is that, shouldn't we even share knowledge, acquire knowledge, to really understand, what a nation needs?
How prepared are you for next month's election in Ondo State?
We are very, very prepared. The candidates working hard, the party is working very hard. All our structure are in place. And as long as the election is well monitored, policed, and controlled, we are very sure of victory.
All right, it's very sure of victory, and it's already have that victory. No, Sheshuru, Remani, Abikini Wonje, joint Poju. I just wanted to be on record. Wala TikTok problem to mani alone here. Early little things. I'm a blessing flag. That is Tinubu there. The next one I'm just gonna play. The one that after Tofisope Onulokon, because mostly my laptop, I have 10 minutes and I have to prepare for Star Radio. Then Roy. So I can't go on to so nibati ofe contest to lo se Abeokuta. That is the next video coming up. While I'm doing what I'm doing right here. Be at about Paris Star Radio. My analysis is paper yi ti kan wa metimori. So I'm gonna continue my own work here.
Ọlọ́run ló ní kí ìgbà yìí ṣojú yín. Ojú délẹ̀ nísìnyí o. Àṣẹ o. Láti ìgbà tá a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí AC. ACN agbedori APC oògùn ẹ̀fọ́rí àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ a fẹ́ ṣe é gbà ẹ́. This is me telling you between my life and God Almighty. Okay. Buhari ni kí wá ṣe gbákejì o. Onítorí àkọ́kọ́ tó ń jáde, ó ń gbé fún Ọ̀kadìgbò, flamboyant, fàájì loving, Catholic, pé wọ́n dìbò fún ẹ̀ńkejì. Òun fún another Igbo Omesioke ló jẹ́ speaker wọ́n gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn dìbò fún ó ní òun rí pé tó bá lọ mú pope wá láti Rome wọn ò ní dìbò fóun but ìwọ Bọ́lá Tinubu ó ní gómìnà mẹ́fà ó tí ì lose election rí gbogbo nǹkan tàbí àwọn ò ní statistics ńgbà yẹn ó fẹ́ fọ wa oníkàkú dìjọ rán. Ní àti ìdí ibẹ̀ yẹn kó tí ì jẹ́ ká tó ẹgbẹ́ ìtàn. Ìgbà tá a tó tán tá a mú àwọn PDP wọlé Sàràkí rí pé àwọn PDP ò ní rí nǹkan kan tí Buhari bá jẹ́ president èmi náà Muslim tí bá jẹ́ vice president òun ò lè rí senate president ò tún lè jẹ́ Muslim. Wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí campaign madaroni ẹ̀ wá mo léèyàn tó jẹ́ Christian màá mú un lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ yóò gbọ́dọ̀ fọ́ àdè gbọ́dọ̀ fẹ́ bí n ṣe mú ẹni tó jọmọ yín sílẹ̀ nìyẹn.
Ta ló ń sọ yẹn? Ó ń sọ nípa the níṣòro Ọ̀ṣínbàjò ló ń sọ yẹn àbí. Now ṣe rí ẹ̀yin Yorùbá mo sọ fún yín pé by the time tí Tinubu bá ṣe tán ẹ sunkún ẹ máa bẹ̀ mí pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀. Sherry, it's all about the game. Tinubu knew what he wanted. Mo ń wo Ọ̀ṣínbàjò lánàá nísìn. I think Ọ̀ṣínbàjò, if I'm right, has now been given a new appointment. Gbogbo kò ṣe kankan sógun state. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá máa ní ọmọ wa ni kó lọ ṣe, ọmọ wa ni kó lọ ṣe, ẹ jẹ́ kó ọmọ wa sáré lọ ṣe, tó bá ti ṣe ó máa mú dàgbàsókè wá because àwọn kan ìtorí pé ìjẹkújẹ yín ẹ̀yin nìkan lẹ́wà concern wà concern nípa everybody. Ọ̀ṣínbàjò lélẹ̀ ó ń dúpẹ́ pé wọ́n ti fóun another appointment. Cap A announced Honourable Professor Yemi Ọ̀ṣínbàjò, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Baba Rugbe, Pastor Ruga, as the new chair of the Board of Directors. Thrilled to announce my acceptance of the offer to lead Cap A as the new chair of the Board of Directors, excited to drive climate action. Wíìrì ó fẹ́ drive climate action. Ìyà ń jẹ gbogbo wa ní Nàìjíríà. Ó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ climate action ló kàn wá. Anyway, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa gbọ́ Tinubu lọ. So Ọ̀ṣínbàjò ló rí fàásì pé òun mọ́ ọmọ yín sílẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n òun fún yín lọ, òun fún ọmọ yín ní position. Òun fún ọmọ yín ní position now. At the end of the day, ó fẹ́ kí ni mo fẹ́ sọ? Àwọn náà ti fẹ́ lò Ọ̀ṣínbàjò against Tinubu because wọ́n ní kí Ọ̀ṣínbàjò náà lọ gba ticket pé tó bá gba ticket at the president. Tinubu wá ń wonder pé but ebi lèmi fẹ́ sílẹ̀ náà. Ó ṣe wá jẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ jẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ jẹ́ Tinubu lẹ́sẹ̀ Jagaban dẹ̀ ni àbí àbó ń sinwin ni born bastard bó ṣe sọ fún Ọ̀ṣínbàjò orí ò pé èmi mo lọ mú ẹ wá mo sọ fún Adébóyè pásítọ̀ ẹ pé àáfà ẹ sílẹ̀ ìwọ wèrè wá dé ní sọ fẹ́ jẹ mí lẹ́sẹ̀ ṣé o mọ̀ pé mi náà fẹ́ dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó yá gbóhùn sókè Tinubu. wọ́n fàyè yín wọ́n fi ń ta káìtì. ẹ gbọ́.
orúkọ mẹ́ta náà ní kí n mú wá. orúkọ Yẹmí Kàdóso wà number 1.
Now that means pé ní sùúrù ṣe rí pé Kàdóso ti wà lórí track tipẹ́tipẹ́. Tinubu nísìn ti fi Kàdóso síbẹ̀ kódà ó máa wà lára report máa give for STARR Radio láàárọ̀ ìkọ̀ mórí kankan tí Kàdóso sọ kí ló sọ ó ní Kàdóso ìyẹn CBN governor yín ó náà máa clear debt. Fine, we want them to clear the debt so that kíyà má bàa jẹ yín but tí Kàdóso bá ṣe ọdún mẹ́rin pẹ̀lú Tinubu tó bá tó rọ́dún mẹ́rin ṣe ṣèbí Tinubu ti lé Emefiele lọ nísìn bó ṣe máa lé Kàdóso náà lọ náà nìyẹn ó dà ń pé etí yín ó dà ń pé ó ń block ó dà ń pé ẹ̀ tí mọ̀ tá à ń sọ. Yes, abẹ́ kó clear debt abẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà ṣiṣẹ́ kó flourish kébì náà wá ṣe business kémi náà ní business mi tó máa run so tí Tinubu bá wá ṣe tán tí wèrè mi dé tí kò understand the policy èmi àtúnṣe wa kó gbogbo gbá mi màá tún padà wá sí London orí yín ò pè é tẹ̀ ń sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ Tinubu yẹn bomb bastard ní gbóhùn sókè bomb bastard.
Number 2.
ń gbọ́.
Yẹmí Ọ̀ṣínbàjò.
olórí burúkú ẹ̀ ní sùúrù bomb bastard bó ṣe lọ fa Yẹmí sílẹ̀ nìyẹn ó ṣe tán nísìn ó tún wá fẹ́ di president òun náà ti débẹ̀ ó ti tọrọ pé ọmọ bíbá ẹ dùnkẹ́ Buhari wá sọ pé kó má wọ́rì ṣó lè gbà bọ̀dì fáwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ó ní kí ló dé tí mo lè gbà bọ̀dì màá gbà bọ̀dì kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ ká jí Nnamdi Kanu tá a bá ti jí Nnamdi Kanu tá a jí wá sí Nàìjíríà má sọ pé a jí o tẹ́nibọ̀dì bá ti ń bí ẹ́ wàá sọ pé ó create a crime against Nigeria ó create a crime mo sọ fún yín pé gbogbo tí Tinubu fẹ́ ṣe it's okay kò sí nǹkan kan tó wrong níbẹ̀ ó ti gbé àwọn the best brain ọmọ Yorùbá ọmọ Igbo ọmọ Hausa kó gbogbo wọn síbẹ̀ ẹ fix Nigeria fún mi ẹ wo the first video yẹn after tó bá ṣe tán kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ jẹ mo yóò yà ẹ dá wa lórí Koiki Media a máa pa nísìn ẹ lọ bá join ni because mo gbọ́dọ̀ switch sí Star Radio nísìn 1 minute mo ní ẹ lọ join ni backup channel yẹn thank you so much we gotta go now and then ẹ̀yin tó kù ẹ máa gbádùn Star Radio tó kù lọ àwa máa wà níbàá ojú ló ń kán ìbòjì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni once they taste the power ẹ ṣe gan ni ìyá mi Tèmiládé kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín we are not against Tinubu wọ́n ní à ń support Tinubu èyí lẹ́ máa ṣe sọ fún mi kí n support Tinubu ni 2015 mo ní access sí presidency APC so kò rọ pé kíní gbogbo wọn la mọ̀ but à ń sọ future nísìn okay fix Nigeria the only thing tó lè fi fix Nigeria ni pé kọ́kọ́ gbé constitution wá sílẹ̀ ẹ lọ́wọ́ program tí mo ṣe lánàá with that pé wọ́n gbé constitution wá sílẹ̀ kò sẹ́nìtìn tẹ́nibọ̀dì lè ṣe ní Nàìjíríà ẹ máa tanra yín wo àdé ń pẹ́ lẹ́nìí so ẹ ká máa gbọ́ lọ tí máa fi mo ní láti change outfit mi so mo ń bọ̀ ẹ tẹ́ ká prepare dáadáa láàárọ̀ yìí.
ẹni kí n mórúkọ mẹ́ta wá tí n bá mú mẹ́ta wá mo ṣílẹ̀kùn fólè nìyẹn.
ṣé ń gbọ́rọ̀.
ẹ lè fi kẹrin kún.
ok.
kẹ wá mú kẹrin yẹn. ẹyọ kan ni máa fún yín.
IPPIS civil servant uncover 17,000 workers tó ń sanwó fún 17,000 workers ẹ̀yin ò níṣẹ́ 17,000 workers wà nínú government tó ń sanwó fún ẹlòmíì nínú wọn wà labroad àwọn mọ̀ra wọn báyìí wọ́n ti kúrò Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti lọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ labroad but wọ́n ti resign ní civil ìwọ́dẹ̀ náà wáṣẹ́ wọ́n lọ sí church ò ń gbàdúrà ẹ máa tanra yín IPPIS we need the vetting we need okay you want Nigeria to work Nigeria will work after Tinubu go kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn náà tó fẹ́ kí Nigeria ṣiṣẹ́ Tinubu ló lè sọ pé òun fẹ́ kí Nigeria ṣiṣẹ́ that is if he is honest after tó bá ṣe tán kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ we are talking about look gbogbo tí Tinubu fẹ́ lò kò tí tó yẹ years tèmi ti lò ní London Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gbà tó sá kúrò Nigeria 4 years ló lò ní UK that means pé half of the time ló fẹ́ lò yẹn because tá bá wo 4 years tí Tinubu lò ní exile àti tó máa lò nísìn 8 years ni ọjọ́ yẹn ò kí ń pẹ́ à ń sọ̀rọ̀ future ẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ní tí Tinubu bá fix ẹ̀ economy dúró tí gbogbo ẹ̀ tán tí Cardoso bá lọ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń jẹ gbèsè ta ló máa san gbèsè yẹn èmi àti yín debt tí Nàìjíríà wà nínú ẹ̀ in another 50 years àti san tán ẹni ká keep Nàìjíríà no problem so Tinubu máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ tí máa fi Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ní Star Radio àmọ́ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lánàá.
ìfẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ń dà right mi fún yín.
mo ń bọ̀ ẹ máa gbọ́ lọ mo ń bọ̀.
àwọn ulamas tó ń jẹ́ ògbóǹtagì àáfàá mùsùlùmí wọn bá mi.
ẹ gbọ́ àwọn àáfàá lọ bá.
aago 2 àbọ̀ sí.
òru ló máa ń ṣe mítì òru ẹ ń gbọ́rọ̀.
a lè parí ọ̀rọ̀.
ẹ ń gbọ́rọ̀ lóru.
láti dá wọn lóhùn pé ok àní ẹyọ kan sẹ́ Buhari fúnra rẹ̀ dẹ́ fẹsẹ̀ rẹ̀ wá olódà òun gbà kí n fẹ́ yọ kan lẹ̀ ń ṣe forúkọ Yẹmí Ọ̀ṣínbàjò sílẹ̀ nìyẹn. ó tọrọ ọbẹ̀ nìyẹn. ẹ tí gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi rí láti fi kọ́kọ́ ibi níbi kọ́ máa sọ yẹn. Ìpè kó má dàrú kó má bàjẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá káàtì èlé débẹ̀ ká gòkè díẹ̀ ìjọ ta ti ń bàbọ̀ torí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀ ń ṣe nísìnyí aṣọ dára wà mo kàn ní ó tásìkò ọ̀rọ̀ ojú orí tán tó bá jẹ́ tìwé ni mo kàwé o. tó bá dẹ̀ jọ́rọ̀ àgbà ni èmi lẹ́gbọ̀n wọn dẹ̀ bí méjì náà máa ní ìkan ṣáájú pẹ̀gbọ́n. àpèmọ́ra ẹni dẹ̀ni lápẹ́ tèmi dirí mo ti ń sìn yín bọ̀ ọjọ́ ti pẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ kìíní wá.
èmi ló kàn
èmi ló kàn.
ibi tọ́rọ̀ yẹn ti jáde nìyẹn ẹgbẹ́ kìíní wá kò ní àwa ló kàn ó ní èmi ló kàn ẹgbẹ́ kìíní wá èmi ló kàn ẹ jẹ́ ká switch ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí ibi báyìí so ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí Star Radio tá bá padà dé àwa máa ṣe tó kù ẹ jẹ́ lọ Star Radio ẹ jẹ́ lọ Star Radio ARCHIE ti ń dúró dè mí ní studio ó náà òun ló kàn yes òun ló kàn lóòótọ́ he has the right you know ó kàwé náà a lè ní kó kàwé but the question is tí Tinubu bá wà honest ẹ sọ fún pé 1999 constitution yẹn ó gbọ́dọ̀ gbé wálẹ̀ tó o bá ti fún yín ní 1999 constitution kó gbé wálẹ̀ that will be the end of you all. Everyone were excited. Jagaban for sure. So, all right, Jagaban, apara. Àti gbọ́. Níwọ kọ́ ló kàn. Ìwọ náà ló kàn náà, ta ló ń bẹ jà. Dá lórí backup. I'm lọ sí studio nísìn, so ṣé kò sí any music. All right, I'll wait till the last minute. So, everything might go quiet, but sound might jáde later. No, look on. Sẹ́ńtọ́ bá ágé pọ̀ wọn kọ́ ló kàn. Kò díẹ̀ náà ni. Ẹ̀ náà ló kàn wọn ló kàn. Bó ṣe dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ní sẹ́ẹ̀. All right, so. All right, maybe I should just leave this one like this. So, ẹ jẹ́ ká fi lè lẹ̀ báyìí. Mo tún ní láti máa switch ẹ̀ síwájú. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fi lẹ̀ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ máa wò náà. Ẹ máa gbọ́ wọn ARCHIE ní background. Crude oil, àwa la ní. Just pé ká ní kiri la fi ń pàìtì nígbà torí kété wa má bàa dry. Àwa la ní crude oil. Ẹ lè ṣe eré lásán ní Nàìjíríà. Ẹ máa tanra yín. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní máa fi sílẹ̀ báyìí cause mo connect Facebook mo on the other side 7 minutes láàyèlá à ń pẹ́ lè ní ọ̀yà lóhùn sókè ìyá lọ sí ìyá lọ join Star Radio enjoy the program.
Can we talk? Can we talk?
Well, listeners, this is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Right, all the talkers who are trying to do everything possible to sabotage your progress.
I am going now.
But as I do say all the time,
Some friends are.
if you are convicted about whatever thing that you are doing, then don't let the critics or those who are just bringing about destructive criticism and stuff like that hold you back or hold you down. Just get up and do something for yourself. As Bob Marley says, get up stand up for your rights. But listeners, it is Star Radio UK. I've got Mr. OLAYOMI, my colleague, who has joined in this morning. And let me see whether he can hear me this morning. Yomi, good morning.
A very good morning to you, Mr. Archie, and a very good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the world. And welcome once again to the Wednesday edition.
Yomi, your line is very, very faint. Well, let me see whether it's from my end.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Listeners, we can hear him, but it's a bit faint. But we'll still go on whilst we okay. Just a moment. I need to do something. Quickly as we. Let's see. It's here. All right. Okay. We'll go on. Let's see whether you can hear me loud and clear, right?
Loud and clear. I can hear you.
Okay, so it's me who cannot hear you very, very well. Listeners, just bear with us. Enjoy the.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good, we got it. Perfect. All right then, listeners, it is STARR Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And as I did say, yes, the technical team were working on it to make sure that we can hear him as loud as he can also hear us. And let me take this opportunity to say good morning to you, my brother.
A very good morning to you, and a very good morning to all our listeners. And I know we're very pressed with time, and it's just 11 minutes past, so we're just going to crack on with it as quickly as possible. But we're going to have more time later on in the evening for the Niger Voices.
Yes. I know this. Let me just bring this one because of those of us who are living in the diaspora, pertaining to this stabbing that took place this morning here in Croydon. It's a very sad one. Normally we hear that boys are the ones that go, but this is around a 15-year-old girl stabbed. And I was talking with my producer, Mr. Francis Gaia, producer, and he was of the view that he thinks that the authorities are not being stringent enough to deter, the youth from behaving that way. What is your take on it?
Well, I think there's a new generation out there that believes that they can do whatever they feel they can do. While you were talking about that, I was looking at some youth in America that invaded the Apple store and break into it. And unfortunately, it's more of our own, people from the same community that are going to do such a, very, very nasty kind of crime. When you talk about the knife crime, it's not new in the society, but again, the question is, how do we get, the female that have now also become the gangs? There's all kind of different gangs, and we've witnessed, death of young, black Caribbean that have, been killed through the knife, And I believe, the Home Office was working tirelessly, because sometimes, these youth are stopped, and some of us are very angry and bitter from the way they are rough-handed. But sometimes, by the time they are, seen with kind of weapon that could easily kill individual. I mean, I'm just picking up the news from the one you're talking about in Croydon. But again, there was another one that happened not too far away from me as well. Which was it's not a. I remember 2 years ago, just somewhere in North London, there was another similar attack like that. But again, how do we speak to the children so that they can channel their energy into something else than crime? And like we always say to those, back home as well, as much as we were talking about 24 innocent youths were killed through cultism in Shagamu, in Ogun State, southwest of Nigeria. Again, we do have similar crime here as well in UK.
Well, listeners, a sad one. To the family, we have said it once again, our condolences. And to the little girl, a 15-year-old girl, may her soul rest in perfect peace. And we hope that the authorities and the community will find a way of trying to address this issue, because it's not going well when it comes to that. But listeners, it's STARR Radio UK, the Wednesday edition of the morning show with Mr. OLAYOMI in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Well, we've been talking about the Nigerian Labour Council that have been, telling government, you know what, we won't be embarking on strike because within the palliative and everything that has gone on. However, we thought that maybe the government was meeting them somewhere or halfway there, but it looks like that's not what exactly is happening there. And we have them saying that they're going to embark on an indefinite strike. Yomi, tell us more about that.
Well, the rhetoric is very good when they're saying that they're going on. I mean, nobody wants a country to go into strike. I was watching, the first time in the history of the U.S. where the U.S. president Joe Biden was also. I know the election is coming next year in America, so it was also at the picket line. Are we going to really go on a full strike? That will be just about almost 48 hours after the Independent. The Independent is coming up on the 1st of October, which is this Sunday. And the strike is meant to come up just like the 48 hours after that. The federal government have now invited organized labor to a meeting in what could be the last minute bid to stop the planned October 3rd nationwide strike. This time around, it is. Remember that last week we talked about the TUC were not really embarked with it, but it seems now that the two of them have come together, both the Nigerian Labour Congress and the trade union yesterday have now confirmed that the two unions have now given the go-ahead. This is no longer, we are not going to. They've actually released the go-ahead. This time around, it's not a go-ahead over 2 days. We are now talking about an indefinite strike. What does it mean when we go on indefinite strike? The difference between Nigeria and here is that when people go on strike here, you still have to go back to work as well. My mom got caught up in such a very tedious strike, I think in 2012. She couldn't return back here to London, and that means that almost everything will be grounded. We are talking about from the airport. I'm sure many Nigerians that have gone on holiday or they've gone on businesses and they have to return back to their base will have to change their plan right now. But again, the indefinite strike will kick ahead as the labor promised to shut down the most important sector when it comes to transportation. They are going to shut down the airport, and the airport is shut down, then nobody is flying in and nobody is flying out.
Interesting one. So is government somewhere going to meet them halfway? What offers has government put on the table for them?
Since this new administration came on board, they've been working tirelessly to see how they can mediate between the Nigerian Labour Congress and also the government. The demand is, since the subsidy has been removed, it has become very difficult for some of the workers to meet up when it comes to, some of the income that is coming through. Most of them are not even paid what they call the full salary I mean, you work 2 months, you get paid 1 month. You work 3 months, you get paid 2 months. So it is not like where every end of the month you are getting the full wages. It is not just about that. I mean, most of the NLC and the TUC are saying the worker's salary must be increased. But the question is, Nigeria do not have the kind of fund to be able to pay through that. But what is this government going to do differently? I think about some few days ago, I was hearing that they might increase the salary, but that is not going to reflect until January. Maybe the president is trying to work out. Remember, the president assured that what we're going to have, the refinery in Port Harcourt will be up and running, and probably maybe there will be some kind of savings there. But as we speak right now, the spokesperson for the Labor Ministry, Olajide Oshundun, said that the meeting have now been scheduled for between the have been pronounced that the President Bola Tinubu would definitely be having some kind of engagement with the NLC. Are they going to stop that indefinite strike? That is still possible. That is subject to whatever agreement that comes between the president and the TUC and the NLC.
Well, listeners are from Nigeria for you, but interestingly, our systems are set default position that it will corrupt people. Because how can somebody work for 3 months and maybe be paid 1 month or 2 months and be paid? How does a person find the money to actually travel to the place? And so they come in, they don't want to put out their best because after all, they are not going to be paid. Virtually they are putting their efforts in. And so you ask yourself all those things. So when they have to be compromised, they are easily compromised. And how do we do this? Meanwhile, those in authority, they are getting their salaries every day, and getting, when they were even going on a break, they were getting all sorts of, how much were they saying that were being given to them? And when they were saying it was, realized, they said that it was prayers that was, when did they give prayers to people? But when those common people or the workers, the labor force are saying that give us something, then they come out with all excuses. We hope that they come out, they sit up and then try to address this issue properly. Listeners, it is STARR Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, because of time, so let me just crack on this one quickly and then I'll leave the rest for Mr. OLAYOMI. Nigerian military had to focus on Nigeria's unity and democracy. Well, they are in the south, east, doing all sorts. The southwest, as and when, I remember when Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho was there, and then there was that Yoruba Nation campaign. It wasn't a rowdy one. It was just people rallying, okay? And we had the military or the security agency, let me put it that way, going in, shooting somebody, killing the person. I remember the Lagos one. And scattering and also that is happening. So what is the military now going to do to bring the country together, especially when people are thinking that we are being marginalized and we want out? Yeah.
Well, you're quite right. The governor of the Kwara State, Abdulrazak, has literally said the military personnel in the various offices to prioritize loyalty. I think, the reason why they're putting that out, maybe because of the coup junta in Niger. It seems that the loyalty was no longer there in Niger. The loyalty was not there in Gabon. Are we going to see the loyalty between the military and the government? Is a question. Mr. Abdulrazak advised the military to note that democracy remains the key for Nigeria as a country, which forms a part of the global village. The governor actually gave this advice yesterday while speaking at the 45th Basic Medical Quality Course, Nigerian Navy College of Health Science in Offa, the headquarters of the Offa local government area. The Kwara State has 16 local government, and Offa is one of those local government. When we go back to payment of basic things as well for the military, so the military as well is not coming out to strike, but what they might do is come up with a coup and then remove the civilian government, which we've seen in Niger, because the reason why the Niger says we have to take the power back is because the civilians were not doing the right thing. So let's hope we do not see such in Nigeria. But again, many of the military personnel that have been killed, their family have not been paid, and likewise, the basic necessity to keep them to fight the terrorism happening in Nigeria sometimes those money have been languishing, in the pocket of those that are the leaders among those military personnel.
Well, I hope that the loyalty that they are calling for is a proper loyalty and not that because they want to be protected and therefore you have to be loyal, really? When you are enjoying and the person is suffering or in the battlefront is not gotten the necessary logistics to, do whatever job that they're supposed to do. What do you think about that? Let me say good morning to every one of you on the YouTube channel and all the sister broadcasts, the platform that you are all listening to us from there. We salute each and every one of you. Now, IPPIS civil servants, that's what they're saying, civil servants uncover 17,000 workers' names removed and replaced with personal special assistants. Is it happening in some states or is it across? What's happening? You know what I mean?
Well, according to the Association of the Senior Civil Servant of Nigeria, has called on over 17,000 of its members allegedly delisted from the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System to remain calm. This issue has been going on between the previous administration and the civil servants. According to the ASA National President Ethan Okon, who disclosed this yesterday at a news conference in Abuja, said that the measures were being taken to address the situation. Mr. Okon was reacting to a report stating that over 17,000 core civil servants were said to have been delisted from the IPPIS portal. Mr. Okon said the affected workers should remain calm as measures were being taken. What is the reason for this? I think the federal government wanted to confirm that many of those that are working as well as to be paid the right amount of job that they are doing. But the ASAN leader expressed concern that the most genuine civil servants ignorance of the verification exercise while it lasted. We have received those information, but he had quickly swung into action to interface with the government through the right department.
Okay, listeners, it is STARR Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olami Koiki. Let's allow him to bring us the rest of the story that's making it around. Over to you, Yomi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Archie, and once again, a very good morning as the country goes into what we call the Eid al-Maulud prayer for Nigeria. The president tells the Muslims, President Bola Tinubu yesterday urged Muslims nationwide to pray for Nigeria, which he said is at an important junction as his government takes all necessary measures to make the country secure and also economic viable. Let's go back again to the new CBN governor, Cardoso, to clear the dollar debt, suspend intervention loan as well. The new governor of the central bank has now been confirmed by the Senate yesterday. OLAYOMI Cardoso said he will prioritize declaring the apex bank's backlog of unsettled foreign exchange. While I was going back to some of the previous videos, Tinubu did just before the election last year, he actually talked about at the campaign trail in Abeokuta. He did mention Cardoso as a name that he would have put forward as the vice president to work along line with the former president Muhammadu Buhari, but that changed when he now appointed Osibajo. But we saw what Osibajo wanted to do. A betrayal that wanted to take away Bola Tinubu and become the next president, but it seems that Bola Tinubu was never going to give room to that. This was 11 years ago. Let's listen to what, as at the time, he wasn't a president, he was just an ordinary citizen, but a former governor and a former senator. He was attending the Democrat convention in America. This is what the president said as at that time.
I don't want to give, any credential to whatever they are saying. It doesn't distract from the fact that, I was at the convention. I was invited properly, and I've honored the guest, position. So, who are they that I have need to prove anything to them? How was that? And what's their business? Is that about the high unemployment in this country? Is that about lack of food on the tables and the kitchen of the poor? Is that about electricity that it cannot even properly privatize? Blackmailing the honorable minister and forcing somebody to resign because they want to turn it to family patrimony? Is that, the cause of infrastructure that is lacking in this country? Is that, shouldn't we even share knowledge, acquire knowledge, to really understand, what a nation needs?
How prepared are you for next
So
month?
you can hear clearly, Bola Tinubu 11 years ago, really giving it to the previous government of the day, as at the time. He is now at the realms of the affairs, and the most important thing Nigerians are asking this morning is, what is the new central bank governor going to do to bring back, the problems when it comes to, the dollar that is continuing to move very faster than, the country itself. We need to promptly find a way to take care of that. It would be naive for us to expect that we will be making too much progress if we are not able to handle that side of the foreign exchange market. This has been what the new CBN governor actually said. As we speak right now, Cardoso screening as the nation grapples with a falling economy, indices with the Naira nearing almost 1,000 to a dollar and 1,200 to the pound at the black market. So we will continue to monitor that, and later on this evening, the focus again was going to be on the labor and the Naira to the dollar. What is he going to do differently from Emefiele? The NFA deploy fighter jet against the IPOB, destroy some hideout. There's a lot of tension going on in the southeast between, the federal government, the military personnel, and the IPOB as well. The Nigerian Air Force fighter jet under the air component of Operation Udoka yesterday destroyed the armories and hideout of the indigenous people of Biafra combatant in Anambra State in Imo as well. The fighter jet conducted several airstrikes on the IPOB fighter enclaves in the Motherville. But again, when we go back and listen to what the government of exile of the Biafra is saying, this is the Nigerian terrorist army are fed up with the American Tucano fighter jet they are currently using against the Biafra Liberation Army. So last week, they went for a window shopping for the Turkish fighter jet. This is coming from the Prime Minister, government in exile, Simon Ekpa, giving his own update, in terms of what we've just given out there as well. Once again, another headline from Simon Ekpa, they even know that our Abuja beans is cooking. We will serve it soon. The Biafra Liberation Army is now in Abuja for a bigger show. He also went on to say the Nigeria Biafra separatist activities likely to persist in the southeast state. It seems that, again, it says Britain is in panic. So the question is, if we look at the current situation going on right now, you can see that there's a lot of tension between the Biafrans and the Nigerian federal government. What are we going to do? Are we going to allow this to escalate and become another Ethiopia? Are we going to allow this to escalate and go into another Sudan? The question can still be resolved amicably if every party is brought into the table and find out what they want. I mean, it is not, self-determination is not a crime, but the question is, how is it not going to be a crime if, both sides can come into some kind of discussion? So we'll continue to monitor that. We'll be telling you more about that during the program later on the Niger Voices at exactly 1800 hours. Before I go to the Star Radio UK to give you some of the other headlines as well, later on at the end of this month, which is just 3 more days before the next program from the Yoruba side, there will be a town hall meeting that will be coming up as well on the 30th. This has been put together by the Ilano Omo Odua. Also on Friday, there will be a peaceful rally for the brother that was kidnapped from Ibadan to Kwara in Ilorin. There's been a stringent bail condition for him, and now on Friday, in the next 48 hours, they are holding what they call a peaceful rally for him as well. There is now going to be a new inquiry again to the death of Mohbad. We will continue to monitor that, and I believe that is going to come up from Friday the 29th as well. So a lot is happening in Nigeria, from the music industry to the business as well. But for now, I'm going to go straight to what is happening on the social media. Once again, this is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Again, the tension in Ondo State, we talked about that yesterday. The Ilaje indigenes have now stormed the Ondo Assembly, protest impeachment move against the deputy governor. So it might be maybe the deputy governor is from that part of town, or local government rather, and some of the banners says, let the Lucky finish his tenure. Lucky is innocent, stop all this allegedly him wrongly. This is some of the placard that is right there. On Tuesday, the indigenes of Ilaje, the coastal area of Ondo State, protested against the State House of Assembly move to impeach the deputy governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa. According to the protesters, under the aegis of Ilaje World Congress, shut down the entrance to the State House of Assembly, prevented vehicular movement for several hours. So we hope things will be resolved there, but we will continue to monitor that as well. And as I come back to you, let me go straight to what is happening on the social media. Again, you know, the death of Mohbad is still one of the most talked about, but again, Igbo is trending at about 26,000 this morning. Big Brother Nigeria is also trending. I'm not too sure why it's trending in Akure as we speak. And likewise, another very news that I'm sure you remember, Lee Shuaibu. She was one of those that were kidnapped during the terrorist invasion. It seems that she has now been remarried again to another terrorist. From the news that we are getting from report this morning, the Nigerian schoolgirl Lee Shuaibu, you know, sorry we couldn't bring the changes of the background because of the technical problem here. Lee Shuaibu has now been married off to another ISWAP commander after 5 years in captivity. The Nigerian schoolgirl, who has now spent 5 years in the terrorist captivity, Lee Shuaibu, she gave birth along the line, has reportedly remarried another Islamic terrorist commander after abandoning the first husband she was forcefully given to, according to the local security sources. What a very sad situation that is.
Well, let's start reading you guys. Lee Shuaibu, was he part of the Chibok girls?
Yes, she was part of the Chibok girls. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the current vice president was the governor as at the time.
Interesting. Well, when it comes to the Southeast and the Southwest, now, I was thinking that by this time, the president should have at least tried a jaw, or as some people put it, carrot and a stick method to actually bring them on board, have a chat, and then maybe see a way forward. But it doesn't look like, I mean, for how long has the president been in power? More than 3 months now? More than 100 days now. And he's still not talked about it. And all that we are hearing is that the security operators are in the southeast, are bombing places, the IPOP, I mean, what are they calling it, zones or whatever places, enclaves that they are in. And if like someone else is saying, now, you do that because you're not talking to the person or the people, then other they think that they also need to fight you back. And they do all sorts. Why has the president and his government not done anything about that? At least approach them. The other they say, release Nnamdi Kanu. Give that to them, and let's see what happens next. And nothing. We're talking about Chief Sunday Igboho. Let the person feel free. I mean, because they are fighting the court. They're saying that we are being marginalized. But nothing has come out from there. Yomi, when are we expecting anything?
I think the president is probably trying to settle down a little bit more. 3 months might still be too early, especially with the current economic situation of the country. But you're quite right, and we got to be, honest. There's a lot of tension going on between, the federal government and the Biafra. It is like this might become, a major headline news. I mean, we are still discussing it within our community right here. But in the next few weeks or months, as the tension is not resolved, there will definitely be some kind of engagement. Again, it seems that the administration of the President Bola Tinubu must find, some committee put together, even if it's not going to happen straight away. I mean, yesterday I was reviewing, how, David Cameron, gave a deceit to the Scottish people that they will remain in the European Union, and they allowed a referendum in 2014. And I looked at the result again. I mean, the difference between those that wanted to remain and those that wanted to opt out of the referendum of the Scottish then was just less than 400,000. 2 million actually voted to remain as the union, while 1.6 million. Then what happened is, the English decided to vote out of EU, while the Scottish are now angry that, you actually pull us out. But the question is, the Scottish Parliament wants to enact a legislation, but the Supreme Court has actually said you can't do such. And this union have been together for 1700. I mean, the union between what we are now calling the Great Britain was 1707. And if the Scottish people are saying, we don't want to be part of that union anymore because you actually deceived us by saying we will remain in EU, the question is, can a country that is still less than 150 years, even though as much as people might say it might still be too early, but the foundation has been faulty, and part of that faulty of that foundation is the 1999 Constitution. The question a lot of us are asking is, will this new administration scrap the old 1999 Constitution and bring in a new constitution? Nigeria will not be the first country in the world to allow a constitution. I reviewed back and I went back to Chile. Chile had a constitution after Pinochet was a military dictator for almost a very long time. In 2019, there was a riot in Chile. There was a lot of disruption. They put down this constitution. But the question is, if you want Nigerians to remain together, you must find a kind of line, an equator line, as they say on the map. But it seems that if you're not finding that, then the bubble continues to bubble until it explodes itself.
Well, we hope that things do not escalate, because if they escalate, I mean, people, lives, even at the moment, lives have been lost, and people's properties and way of living is being destroyed. So we want the government to hearken and act swiftly so that it doesn't escalate.
You just have to see what is currently happening in Azerbaijan as we speak right now. There's a tension right there right now. About almost 20,000 people are moving out. Again, it's all about the ethnic cleansing there. So we hope that this new administration would not sit away and do like the former president Muhammadu Buhari, that wanted to do everything to remind the Biafra how they were dealt with in 1967.
Well, listeners, it's STARR Radio UK. This evening, what are we looking at when it comes to Niger voices? Are
we going to see the indefinite strike, or should we say it's just another bluff from the NLC? That is going to be the focus, and the rest will be discussion about everything that diasporas and Nigerians both at home, which is the dollar. Do we really need to have enough dollar? And what is the new CBN going to do? So it's all about the NLC and the new CBN governor. So that is going to be the conversation later on at 1800 hours.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. Have a lovely afternoon, and then we'll catch up later.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki from our North London studios, bringing you updates from Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. Nigeria matter. No, you know go end now. Our Nigeria matter go end. O-end it. Like O-end it. So it's a continuity. I hope you have enjoyed that debrief there from the Akalamago. My brother, how you doing, sir? Ako Jojo Sheri. So, Angbo, Emilo kan lo lenkan. Emilo kan system me money lati. Hopefully we see what happens. She my manager. Akalamago TV. Ṣara fe lewa. Emilo kan, bàbá Emilo kan. Ó yá, ẹ ká tún lọ gbọ́ Tinubu díẹ̀ sí. Ó ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ lẹ́ǹkan ká tó lọ sí ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń paná no léwi. Save my money for my electricity. Need iná, àbá need iná ni. Ìbẹ́ iná ní iná Nàìjíríà, àbẹ́ níná ni. Ẹ ṣáà níná. Àbẹ́ níná. Let's rewind it a little bit. Tinubu, mo wo fídíò yìí ṣá. Tinubu para gan nínú fídíò yìí o. Ọmọ Tinubu para gidi ni o. Àbẹ́ mi ló kàn. Èmi ló kàn ẹja padà sórí Koiki Media nísìn. orí ẹ̀ borí àwọn ìtọ́fin fọ́gbọ̀n lórí ẹ̀ Jagaban Àtíkù ṣàfi gba gbogbo result ẹ̀ Àtíkù fi destroy Tinubu wíwọ́kẹ̀ gbogbo tó tọ́jú pamọ́ yẹn a máa kó bọ́tà ni Àtíkù fi ná last cover ẹ̀ lórí Tinubu ṣe rò pé kílẹ̀ rẹ̀ pé Àtíkù fi ṣe Àtíkù mọ tó ń ṣe náà Àtíkù fi ná gbogbo last cover ẹ̀ Ọlákúnlé how you dey how dey go ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká tán ẹ kí n tọ́ Koiki Media mi padà again so at least I think I have some few hours mo kàn fẹ́ pẹ́ púpọ̀ ni torí mo sì ní láti padà wá ní 6 so a gbọ́dọ̀ sọ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tán nísìn but ó ní kankan ni mo fẹ́ discuss lórí paper tààrọ̀ ní orí Metro. There are few things I saw there that will be worth discussing so I can start ilé padà. Jagaban for sure. Bàbá mi ló kàn. Bàbá mi ló kàn. Comrade Plan B. Báwo ládùúgbò yín? Tinubu is an alleged criminal. Nothing good can come from him. Àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ gbọ́ lẹ́nu ẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ Tinubu máa bẹ́ẹ̀ jà o. Káwọn ọmọ Tinubu máa bá yín jà o. Èmi nìkan ló ń bá jà. Everybody tí mọ bó ṣe ń lọ báyìí. Wàláì. Ta ló ti jẹ breakfast? Èmi ti jẹ breakfast láàárọ̀ yìí o. Ta ló ti jẹ breakfast? Èmi ti jẹ breakfast láàárọ̀ yìí. Ṣé náà ti jẹ breakfast? Torí èmi ti jẹ breakfast èmi o. Ta ló ti jẹ breakfast tiẹ̀ náà? Ṣé náà ti jẹ breakfast? Àbẹ́ẹ̀ ti jẹ breakfast? Mo ṣeré o. Ẹyin àti bread ni mo jẹ. Kódà mo lè jẹ tán gan sẹ́ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú sardine. Ìtókùnù tí mo jẹ lélẹ̀. Sórí ìtókù nìyẹn. Ibi tí mo jẹ́ dé nìyẹn. Ìtókù àwọn àdánù ni. Sardine nìyẹn. Odindi sardine mẹ́ta. Mo kàn lọ waste ilé ẹyọ kan pẹ̀lú bread. Ẹyin mẹ́ta ni máa ń dín. Ọmọ àgbàlagbà ni mo gbọ́dọ̀ máa jẹ ẹyin kékeré. Ẹyin mẹ́ta ni máa ń dín. Sórí nísìn pé ẹni tó bá ti jẹun orí ẹ̀ láti pé bọ̀ tó bá jẹun ó máa ṣìwàwò ni. Wàá dẹ̀ ra mú apple juice. So èyí tó yẹ ká máa dán ní London nìyẹn ló ti rí ọ̀rọ̀ ibi kọ́ ló ń pa wá èyí tí mo jẹ ni so èyí tó kù nísìn àlọ́ dànù nísìn bá ti ṣe tán a dẹ̀ ní bingo tá máa fún èmi ò lájá tó wáyé kí mo lájá nísìn ni a ní bingo ó yá bá dà fún ó lè lọ da oúnjẹ síta ọlọ́run ẹ̀kọ́ lórí ọlọ́pàá lọ dá mi dúró ẹ̀yin náà ti jẹun ìyá mi Grace Olúṣòótọ́ ta ló ti jẹun láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ ta ló ti jẹ búrẹ́dì àtẹ̀wà ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì máa ń tẹ̀wà gọ̀yìn ní Nàìjíríà ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì máa ń tẹ̀wà gọ̀yìn Comrade Plan B ṣọ́ máa ń tẹ̀wà gọ̀yìn ṣọ́ọ̀tẹ̀ máa ń ta ní Ìbàdàn mo pa yín ará Ìbàdàn àmàlà ni tí bá ti wálé padà so ṣó lè imagine sí pé ebi kọ́ ló ń pa wá àwa wà concern nípa ẹ̀yin ṣẹ́yìn wà concern nípa ara yín that's the question you should ask yourself at least àgbàlagbà nínú ilé ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ lè ní oúnjẹ tẹ́ fẹ́ jẹ kàmá tí wàá sọ àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké tó wà nínú ilé and Nigeria is still the senior consendary ṣe empire of wọlé ni ọyọ jẹ́ ń gbé wọlé lórí TikTok reason tá a ṣe ń pariwo a ṣe ń sọ fún yín pé tẹ́ bá ní Tinubu máa ṣe fine but by the time tí Tinubu máa fi ṣe 1 year mo fẹ́ máa rí oúnjẹ lórí tébù yín Abdullahi náà ti jẹun Abdullahi sọ pé òun náà ti jẹun ta ló ti jẹun láàárọ̀ ẹ má pa tàárọ̀ mọ́tò sàn mo fẹ́ kẹ́ jẹ́ separately ni this is the reason why ibi kọ́ ló ń pa wá bí mo bá tẹ̀ lówó oúnjẹ wà nílé inú wa ò dùn tá a bá rí tẹ̀ ń wá sórí social media tẹ̀ wá ń tọrọ owó fún oúnjẹ kò make sense kí ló fi ń ṣe bread ẹja yẹn nísìn tó bá yẹ pé ẹyẹ ń jókòó báyìí tó bá yẹ pé a ní proper system tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ tí àwọn Fúlàní ò disturb wa tó yẹ ká má lè ṣe nǹkan àgbẹ̀ àwọn kan try wọ́n ṣe kàn yẹ pé Nàìjíríà àwọn èèyàn lówó nínú Nàìjíríà àwọn èèyàn lówó àwọn kan wà òkè mo rí ìyàwó Fẹlá Dúrótoyè ó post máa kan kinní kan Jakes ó dà pé màá bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ sometimes I just laugh Nigeria na cruise mo ń bọ̀ ẹjẹ́ kọ́ lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn náà ṣé ń gbọ́ gbogbo ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa àti lè kákọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ 1 hour so that màá lè ní enough time mo tètè sùn lánàá gan ẹ mọ̀ tí bá ti lọ ní night shift bẹ́ẹ̀ èyí tí mo lọ níjọ́ Monday lọ sí airport yẹn ó tẹ̀ ọ́ lára because ó ti pẹ́ tí mo ti ṣe journey bẹ́ẹ̀ Instagram mi dá ẹ jẹ́ ń lọ sórí Instagram ó náà ń porí ìyàwó táwọn èèyàn bá wá sí Nàìjíríà a máa pọ́n wọn lé Fẹlá lórúkọ ìyàwó ẹ̀ nù á porí ìyàwó ẹ̀ nù ti rí jẹ́ ń lọ sórí page tòun náà máa padà sórí mọ̀ ọ̀rán torúkọ máa yàn máa rántí ẹ̀ létà orí Instagram ti rí láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ kì í sọ̀kan fún yín Scarsgo mo kí yín ẹ máa kọ́ deceive yín that lóòótọ́ ẹ máa rí àwọn kan 1 or 2 people they are doing very well ìwọ náà máa sọ pé ó fẹ́ do very well but it is the enabling environment kò ní jẹ́ kẹ́ do very well a máa padà sọ́dọ̀ bàbá mi ló kàn woman home secretary wa ni ó lọ sọ̀rọ̀ l'Amẹ́ríkà ní àná ó sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá kí ló sọ lánàá ọmọ Kenya lòun náà àwọn parent ẹ̀ Kenya àti kíní lòun náà ti wá máa kà fún yín nísìnyí anyway Sule Braveman a savage, outdated United Nations rules on refugees, saying the threshold for claiming the status has become too low and it has made it easier for people to claim asylum. Why are why are people claiming asylum? Why are people running away from their own territory? It is because when the society is not working, when there's problem around the world, problem to create, on padà wá bite wọn nísìn. Let's continue. Ó láwọn bí tí mo fẹ́ kà fún yín nínú pépà yìí. Yeah, you are. So continuation. Woman Lele, Home Secretary wa. Challenge for political and cultural institution of the West. Miss Braveman, the child of migrants from Mauritius and Kenya. Mauritius lòun náà ti wá àwọn ọ̀run ẹ̀ àti Kenya. Also said it was dangerous to dismiss people concerned about immigration as idiots or bigots. She said that the outdated 1951 United Nations Refugee Convention must be reformed to raise the threshold for asylum claims and to cope in an age where internet, plane travel, and smartphones have made it easier for people smugglers to operate. It was drafted, it also drafted, Nick John Long, was because of the World War II. Ogun tó jà ní World War II ló ṣe drafty these, Universal for Declaration, which is in Stephen Fallety yẹn tó ń parọ́ fún yín pé òun lọ sí United Nations. Mo tí ready láti ṣe full. Hopefully I'll try and do something around that. We see how it goes. We are lọ́la, but ma clear air fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. Lórí ibi tí Fallety lọ yẹn, ma clear air fún yín so that your mind will be at rest. Kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ pé Dúpẹ́ ti declare gbogbo yẹn nonsense ló ń sọ. Things doesn't work in that direction. Gbogbo tí Ìjìnlẹ̀ Jókòó tọ́jọ́ ń sọ yẹn, àti Black Lion àti Black Sheep àti gbogbo yẹn 419 ní gbogbo wọn. Kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ pé Fallety lọ sí United Nations màá ṣe program properly lé lórí láti lè fún wọn ní one off but ibi tí mo fẹ́ lò gangan kan ní ẹnu paper now let's come here now mo fẹ́ lo bíbá mo ní láti wá sórí Google mi wọ́n pè máa kan ní ibi tí mo fẹ́ lò nínú paper in case ẹ̀ bá tinú metro paper page 5 eléyìí àwọn tí wọ́n dáwó fún pé kó ra mask ó máa lọ sí prison but èèyàn kọ́ ni mo wà after I'm not interested in that nígbà tí covid tí after tó pa George Floyd ní America ṣe mọ̀ pé protest kan ṣẹlẹ̀ náà ní UK everywhere wọ́n destroy so many places ó níbì kan tí mo kà wọ́n pè máa kan ní Costan COLSTON Edward Costan ó dáa kó náà ni a sì máa ṣe full program lé lórí tí bá ti wà lórí software so that ẹ lè rí picture bí wọn lè move but máa wà lè move laptop mi later láti jẹ́ kẹrin ta ló ń pè ní Edward Costan Edward Costan COLSTON Cherry Nigerians do not really know the real background of that messed up country. I mean, I didn't know as well as much as what we know now. And I'm grateful that we've been able to know much compared to Nkotamo Tele. So every time somebody like me, Tiban, follow news, Azerbaijan is saying it's got to do with ethnic cleansing. There's a lot of problem going on there, which is almost same problem. That one on face. Muki Baba Kunle Shita, Muki Kunle Bakers, and the rest of those of you on the thread. Man yi, ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi picture wọn yìí kókó kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ rí image yẹn. Ohun dà gangan. I think, let's see if we find some kind of nice picture of him. Edward Costan. All right, I think on Lele. Okay, BBC image Lele. What jaire yẹn wálẹ̀? Ere ẹ̀ wọ́n já wálẹ̀. Na boka Lele. Edward Costan. Àwọn òyìnbó ti báyé jẹ́, wọ́n ti destroy wa gan. Number, Edward Costan. All right, this is him. This is the man I'm talking about. Man, bye bye. So interface sorry lórí díẹ̀ nísìnyí. Let's go to Motirito article. Màá share link àwọn article yẹn. Because I love to let people know ibi tí mo ti mú information so that kẹ́yìn náà lè lọ ẹ̀yin náà lè ṣe kíni ẹ lè lọ follow ẹ̀. So let's first share this one. This is BBC June 8, 2020. Bọ̀nú metro tèmi so ẹni tó bá wà ní UK tẹ́ bá sì jáde before kó tó kó paper kúrò ńlẹ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀n kó tó máa kó paper ilé kúrò ńlẹ̀ ó máa wá gbé Evening Standard wá so ẹ sì lè pick ẹ̀. Ta ló ń pè ní Edward Costan and why is Bristol divided by his legacy? Oh yeah, a ṣe ń padà bọ̀ mo pọ́sẹ̀ ní èmi ló kàn òun nìyẹn.
Àpèmọ́ra ẹni dẹ̀yìn.
Ẹja gbogbo yẹn ìtàn ni àpèmọ́ra o ṣáà ti jẹ president so gbogbo yẹn tó kù mí sí ni pé fix Nigeria fáwọn èèyàn kọ́ lè jẹ breakfast èmi ti jẹ breakfast èmi nísìn ok so káwọn èèyàn lè jẹ breakfast kọ́ jẹ lunch kọ́ lè jẹ dinner gbogbo tó ń sọ yẹn jágbajàgba ni. Ta ló ń pè ní Edward Costan? Statue yẹn Bristol ló wà nígbà tí wàhálà ṣẹlẹ̀ when there was a problem of the George Floyd that was killed in America. So there were people started telling us about, àwọn tó wà into slave business. Family man was into it as well, but how can I say? Bristol tẹ́ à ń gbọ́ ẹ máa gbọ́ Bristol, University of Bristol, Bristol mo kẹ́yìn tẹ́ wà ní India. Bristol fame and wealth. Kí ló ń pè ní fame? F-A-M-E. Ẹ ká lọ wo English dictionary. Tàbá ní fame, F-A, mo kí àtòbí mi lọ́mọ, mo kí bàbá kí tó yẹ, mo kí gbogbo àwọn leaders wa.
Fame.
Famed.
Fame.
Tàbá ní bàbá yẹn wà famed.
Fame.
What does it mean? The state of being known or talked about by many people. You know, many people talked about us, whether good, bad, or ugly, doesn't matter. Saturday, like Barolong, I'm actually, voluntary fundraising for Koiki Media. 3 hours. The whole program is going to be for fundraising. 1,000 naira, 2,000, £10, £100, £1,000. We want to raise good money for the platform on Saturday, like Barolong. So kẹ́ tọ́jú owó díẹ̀ fún wa gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà náà ẹ make sure kẹ́ tọ́jú owó a dẹ̀ máa ní wallet a máa gbowó lórí rúbà gan gbogbo platform la máa fi gbowó wa. So taba ní
fame.
It is the state of being known or talked about by many people, especially on account of notable achievements. We can say Baba Akintoye is in that direction of that people that we call
fame.
Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho is
fame.
Chief Banja Iloge is
fame.
And some other people, even Bola Tinubu is
fame.
We cannot deny that. What is the full meaning of
fame?
Tabani?
Fame.
Widespread reputation, especially of a favorable character, a renowned public eminence, to seek fame as an opera singer. Now, let's go back. What is Bristol? Bristol, break it down. Bristol is a city in England, so that you have an understanding of what I'm talking about. So Bristol is a city in England. So very, very beautiful city. So in Emabino, I have to keep showing like that because we are not using the software, and I might not be able to be doing that because it will be too much for me. So it will just be. So Tabani Bristol is a very beautiful place. I've been there. Moronti, get boys. As at that time, we travel to Sibe, Latilo meet and walk on. It's not for public consumption. Bristol is a city, ceremonial county, a unitarily authority in England on the River Avon. It is bordered by ceremonial counties of Gloucester. Bristol is a city straddling the River Avon in the southwest of England with a prosperous maritime history. Its former city center port is now a cultural hub. The harbour side, where the Shield Museum explores local social and industrial heritage. The harbour, harbour, because kò lè máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ. Òkìkí ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá mi àwọn tó gbọ́ Yorùbá ti bá mi ṣe àyàn gbé fọ ẹ̀ jáde wọ́n ní òkìkí ni wọ́n pè bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ̀bọ́ kan wà tó máa ń pè rẹ̀ lókìkí lórí Facebook, very good guy, he's doing very well, I do listen to him. Ta ló mọ̀ tán pè ní kí ni mo sọ lẹ́ǹkan náà harbour tàbá sọ pé harbour H-A-B-O-U-R. Should we do English dictionary for it quickly? Let's find out the meaning. So what is the meaning of the word
harbour?
Tabani.
Harbour.
A place for boats. Thank you so much, Mr. Jimmy. Ekabo, Yawa Elizabeth. Tabani.
Harbour.
A place on the coast where ships or ojú-omi, many more in shelter, especially one protected from the rough water. So taba sọ pé harbour, you'll be looking at images like this. Okojomi. So that means Bristol oni omi. Bristol oni kini mo sọ oni omi. Kí ló wá fún mi yẹn ṣe in that century? Kí ló wá fún mi ṣe? I'm a body and listen. I am just giving you all this lecture so that you have a deep understanding of the mess that they kept us for a long time during the slave trade, that you still want to remain in that same slave. I feel pulling out from the slave. You don't want us to pull you out. Baba mi Moses ni Aboras is a place of seaport. Seaport. Ó dàbí àpápá. So, Tabani
Harbor.
Again, a place of security and comfort. Kí la ṣe ń jà fún Yorùbá nation. Security omi yẹn ni. Tá bá ti gbọmi lọ́wọ́ yẹn ní kankan mọ́. Igbo fẹ́ gbọmi yẹn, whether we like it or not. Hausa fẹ́ gbà. Gbogbo èèyàn ló fẹ́ gbà. Àwọn foreigner fẹ́ gbọmi lọ́wọ́ yín. So some of you don't understand that èmi ló kàn tó ń pariwo yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n rewind ẹ̀, a máa mix gbogbo ẹ̀pọ̀ mọ́ra wọn. Ó yẹ ká gbọ́ Tinubu tó sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Ó yá kí ló sọ? Ó yá gbóhùn sókè. Gbóhùn sókè wèrè.
Má dàrú kó má bàjẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá káàtì ẹ̀ lè débẹ̀ ká gòkè díẹ̀.
That is good. Ká lè débẹ̀ ká tẹ̀ lè gòkè díẹ̀. Ṣé díẹ̀ yẹn la máa wá dúró lé lórí àbí lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó bá lọ? Because Tinubu is in control of Nigeria right now, whether we like it or not. Gbogbo tí Onítìrì sọ pé òun gba country yẹn gbogbo yẹn nonsense ni. Tinubu is still in charge. That means he's in charge of everything under Nigeria abelowa. Tinubu lè pàṣẹ fún any company kó gbé nǹkan kan wọlé through omi. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Ṣé wàá pé àwọn Yorùbá kan nísìn wọ́n máa gbádùn gan-an. I'm not joking. Wọ́n máa di olówó gidi because Tinubu ló wà níbẹ̀. Wọ́n kàn ní láti sọ fún Tinubu pé ọmọ a ní container a ní àwọn ship kan tó fẹ́ dé tí wọ́n ní àwọn ẹrù kan kó bọ̀ tá fẹ́ tà ní Nàìjíríà. And okay, ẹ fún wọn ní leeway kó wọlé. He can do anything as a president. But after tó bá lọ tán, he's no longer in charge of the water. Tinubu can still do everything now to stop the problem that we are talking about. But if he refuses to do so, it would eventually mean that gbogbo tó ń sọ nísìn pé ká débẹ̀ ká tẹ̀ gùnkè díẹ̀. Yes, it's good. But ká débẹ̀ ká gùnkè díẹ̀ yẹn is just for 8 years. Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ wà lókè for 8 years? Is that what you guys want? Ká débẹ̀ ká kọ̀ wà níbẹ̀. A padà sọ́dọ̀ Tinubu. Let me stick to the Edward Costin. Now we've been able to get the background of, Abo, but we are still talking about Bristol. But Bristol have something that many of us will probably learn today. You might be the first time you'll be hearing these. This has got to do with during the slave trade. Slave trade. If you love Nigeria and you do not understand, I was at the Liverpool some few years back, and I went to the slave museum. I mean, not really cry out, but so when some of you are thinking that you should still, you love Nigeria, but you don't understand the damage of the slave trade on us, and you still want to remain Nigerians, I wish you best of luck. Let's now go back and find out a little bit more about Bristol. I've given you the definition of fame. Everybody knows what is wealth. Though they say health is wealth. But many of you do not have the good health. So you are not likely to have wealth. But wani àlàáfíà lògùn ọrọ̀. En tó bá lálàáfíà, ya ń gbé mi lékè ó tó jọ́ mẹ́ta, ṣàlàáfíà lẹ wà mà. A lot of you do not have good health. But tó bá ní health, tó bá lówó, fine, you're okay. Bishop Baba ní sinmi ti jẹun. Mama fi wọ̀nyí ká máa fi parí program yìí sórí sardine nìyẹn, ẹyin ni mẹ́ta làgbàlagbà máa ń jẹ pẹ̀lú bread. Mo ní polówó bread yẹn kọ́ sanwó advertisement fún mi. But ó ní bread kan tá máa ń rà nínú ilé wa. Ẹ mọ̀ pé mi náà ti di celebrity. So nígbà tá bread ti sanwó advert fún mi, mo lè máa dárúkọ wọn ní bíbá. It was a good product. Now, Bristol, fame and wealth. Mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yẹn kó papọ̀. àti mọ meaning fame, àti mọ meaning abor, àti mọ meaning wealth were all built on slave trade. Are you angry? Bristol, tí wọ́n ní ó fẹ́ wá kàwé níbẹ̀, University of Bristol. Gbogbo tó fi build ẹ̀, owó ẹrú ni. Àwọn ẹrú ló fi build Bristol. You can see why we must not stop educating you all. Your love for politicians, I don't have a problem. But you must start asking questions. Questions. Because gbogbo eléyìí tí Jagarudi tó ń sọ níbí báyìí, ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó sọ lẹ́ǹkan sí, gbóhùn sókè.
Láti fi kọ́kọ́, ibi níbi kọ́ máa sọ yẹn. Ipe kó má dàrú, kó má bàjẹ́, orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá káàtì èlé débẹ̀ ká gòkè díẹ̀.
He's a very smart guy. Kó má dàrú, kó má bàjẹ́, orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá ká lè débẹ̀. Tinubu is a this guy. Kó má dàrú, kó má bàjẹ́, orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá ká lè débẹ̀. Ó lè ti débẹ̀ nísìn. So the expectation is a lot of you that are in Nigeria, you must do whatever you want to keep you floating. If you tell me if you look on here. Now, let's move swiftly. Bristol, famed, wealth were built on the slave trade. And few slave traders, few, there are not a lot of them. One of them is Edward Custon. Ìwọ́n ní ó ṣe jáwàlá ó ṣe jẹ́ Ìgbòho ló fi gba Yorùbá nation, ó ṣe jẹ́ Bàbá Akíntóyè ló fi gbà tó ń ṣe Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì. Ta ni Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì? Ta ni Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì? Ó mọ̀ pé òun ò lè gbà, ó wá ń dà ìfá àti gbogbo brain yín, ó ń lọ báyìí, ó ń tò báyìí, ó wá náà lọ sí United Nations. Ibi tí ó yẹ kẹ́yìn tí kọ́kọ́ nílà káyọ̀ pé ṣé United Nations níbi tó lọ yẹn? In reality, in a real picture, ó dẹ̀ tún jáde, ó dẹ̀ sọ yẹn pé a gbé ambassador at large wá lọ sí United Nations, and the gullibles fall for that. Àwọn kan tún pè mí pé wọ́n ní Dúpẹ́ ti declare pé àwọn ti rí ní United Nations, orí wo yóò pè. À ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn. Àwọn tí wọ́n ní wọ́n fi owó ẹrú, owó àwọn bàbá ńlá wa tó fi ń ṣayé, wọ́n ní few ni wọ́n. Kí ló ń pè ní few? Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo English dictionary few. Ẹni tó bá mọ̀ ní Yorùbá ẹ bá mi ṣe síbẹ̀ kí n wò bí mo lè pronounce ẹ̀. Tá bá lọ wo meaning few ní English dictionary. Kí ni meaning ẹ̀? Few. A small number. That means that those that made Bristol to what Bristol is today with slave trade, they were few. Edward Custon. Èrè ẹ̀ lọ já wálẹ̀ báyìí nígbà tó ń ṣe protest yẹn. But ilé wọn ló gbowó, owó tó gbà £30,000. Wọ́n ní kò deliver gbowó tó kù, wọ́n gbé lọ sí court. Ìyẹn woman yìí. Ìyẹn kọ́ ni mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, kò sí tó kọ́ mi pẹ̀lú yẹn. Eléyìí mi fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Ó wà ní pépà tèmi. Díẹ̀, okay, wọ́n ní díẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé gan ni Mr. Israel. Àwọn díẹ̀ lọ lo àwa Africans, wọ́n fi ṣe wá ní jàǹbá. Wọ́n gbé wa kúrò lórí lédè tí Elédùmarè d'Áfríkà. Wọ́n kó wọn wá sí Bristol, wọ́n fi develop Bristol. Gbogbo ìlú tẹ̀ ń rí àti àwọn European countries, owó ẹrú ló fi develop ẹ̀. Àwọn díẹ̀ dẹ̀ ni wọ́n. Ìwọ wá tí wọ́n ń jà pé ó wá ń bú àwa, òun bú Kóìkì, òun bú àwọn tó ń sọ pé self determination, òun bú àwọn tó sọ pé ká pín kí gbogbo nǹkan lè ná máa padà, torí pé problem á wà. And this is what we are saying to those of you. Hey, no understanding tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ni. Mo ti ka tán because tí n bá ṣe analysis lé lórí tí bá kàn ká lọ gbùdùgbùdù kò ní yé yín. So mo gbọ́dọ̀ fún ní that kind of in-depth conversation. Mo kí Grammar Comfort. Jagaban is being selfish. He knows Yoruba Nation is the best option. Orí ẹ̀ òye tó. Màá tún padà sẹ́yìn díẹ̀ sí. Bristol, fame and wealth were built on slave trade. Okweru. Ben ìyá mi gbé mi lékè. Some did in one not àwọn psychopath. One not till see United Nations. Ṣé United Nations lọ́lọ́ yẹn? Only àwọn díẹ̀ ló jẹ́ traders. And this díẹ̀ yẹn, àwọn few yẹn, were more infamous or wealthy than Edward Costan. Wọ́n náà yẹn tún lówó ju ìyẹn bàbá yìí lọ. Almost 300 years since his death. Nigeria going to take 300 years. Why do you want to die for Nigeria? I don't understand. Gbogbo pa pariwo Nigeria listen, kò tí tó time tí bàbá yìí tó ti kú yìí. Àwọn ilé ti kú 300 years ago. But jàǹbá tó ṣe sílẹ̀. Òun lele wá sọ nísìn pé ìyẹn Home Secretary wa pé àwọn refugee ó ràn pọ̀ máa ń gbàgbé pé wàhálà tó dá sílẹ̀ wàhálà yẹn ò tí tán lẹ̀ because you actually destroy different part of the world nígbà tó ń ṣe nígbà colonial era ni mo ń sọ yìí. That problem now is why people are moving around. People àwọn èèyàn move káàkiri. Everybody is looking for where to go to ibi tó lè survive because ibi tó yẹ ká ti survive wọ́n jẹ́ ká survive níbẹ̀. Well then it's called survival to the fittest. Ẹni tó bá lè survive ẹni àwa kan rí future yẹn àwa kan rí àwa kan sì ń rò pé eléyìí ó yá gbóhùn sókè kí ló tún sọ ẹjẹ ń dá padà díẹ̀ ó yá.
tí gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi rí láti bí kan gbọ́.
ó yá mọ̀ n kí la fi gbọ́.
ibi ìdí kan máa sọ yẹn.
ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó fi sọ ó yá.
ìpè kó má dàrú. kó má bàjẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá káàtì ẹ̀ lè débẹ̀ ká gòkè díẹ̀. ìjọ ta ti ń bàbọ̀. torí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀ ń ṣe nísìnyí aṣọ dára wà mo kàn ní ó tásìkò ọ̀rọ̀ ojú orí tán tó bá jẹ́ tí ìwé ni mo kàwé o.
Okay, no car. History láti ń padà sí àìsí dọ́dọ̀ tiẹ̀ Jagaban. Almost 300 years since his death, his past is said to be formally acknowledged by the city for the first time. It's the same thing that what we are doing today, whether we like it or not. Another 300 years, people will come out and be saying, about that is my great. These were people that were honest. Be Liz Dada. Because Liz Dada tell me pé ó tún wá lọ sọ́dọ̀ Dagboru bí Grace Adebi bí bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Because fi ṣọ̀tẹ̀ Ìgbòho àti Bàbá Akíntóyè. 300 years ago ni máa ń ti kú. A ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ bó ṣe máa sọ tèmi àti ẹnìyẹn lẹ́yìn pé pressure yẹn ti ń lọ́lẹ̀ justice for Mohbad wọ́n máa fi di mo sọ fún ìyàwó mi pé wọ́n máa fi di last week gan mo rò kó máa lọ́lẹ̀ but because wọ́n tún wú òkú yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ọ̀rọ̀ Mohbad nísìn pressure yẹn ti ń lọ́lẹ̀ bí Ayọ̀ Brown wèrè Ayọ̀ Brown ṣọ́ dí òmò lẹ́nu jọ́ mẹ́ta one bastard àtàwọn tó kù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ìjìnlẹ̀ yẹn frostat ẹnìyẹn náà kò sọgbọ́n ẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan tó lè sọ fún mi you can read it from the body language mo lè sọ níwájú ẹ̀ mo lè lọ sí Turkey kí n sọ fún níwájú ẹ̀ anytime tí bá wà ní Turkey máa pè máa sọ pé mo wà ní Turkey kó wá bá mi lẹ́niwẹ̀ nínú center wọn and I'll be going Turkey very soon kọ́lọ́n kó túbọ̀ fún wa ní ẹ̀mí gbogbo bí a ti next year mo ń bọ̀ ní Turkey òun ò lè travel èmi lè travel òun ò ní kò ní document tó lè fi kúrò ní Turkey gbogbo ẹnu mo fi sọ kò ní document tó lè fi kúrò ní Turkey àwọn ìlú yẹn wọ́n fún yàn níwèé o lè lọ́bẹ̀ ó sì bẹ́tà ju Nàìjíríà lọ mo ṣeré o ìjìnlẹ̀ bó ṣe wà á máa jẹ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kúrò ní Turkey ni wow emperor ó máa jẹ 3 square meal àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ ń dáwó fún bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe ń dáwó fáwa náà ó lè máa pretend pé wọ́n fóun lówó irọ́ ní gbogbo yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń fáwa náà lówó lọ́n fóun náà lówó ìbáwọn náà ní kákọ́s Tinubu gan ní kákọ́s tó fẹ́ fún lówó nísìn àwọn ṣàgórì ní Tinubu ó fẹ́ gbé Nàìjíríà lé lọ́wọ́ àwọn ṣàgórì wọ́n fọ́lù bàbá kan lórí Twitter true or false àwọn ṣàgórì ní Tinubu fẹ́ bá deal àwọn France kò fẹ́ bá UK deal púpọ̀ bọ́bẹ̀ kọ́ là ń lọ. Kí ló wá dé tí nígbà tí gbogbo wàhálà ṣẹlẹ̀ ní UK tó lọ já èrè bọ̀bọ́ ìwá sínú omi pé eléyìí wà lára àwọn ọlọ̀tẹ̀jọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Mr. Perry mo kí àlàáfíà mo wà bàbá mi ti àmì o I'm doing very well mo kí ògbọ́n ìta lórí ètò. I am just giving you a background of history. That some of us would have been taught. Tó bá yẹ pé àti mo rá àwọn history nígbà tá a wà ní secondary school ní primary school títí dé nursery, many of you will never love what is called Nigeria, and that's why they remove the word history as a subject, because history can never be forgotten. This guy called Edwin Coston was part of those few, even though he was not even up to the others. But let's give you a bit of his background. But why did people revolt against this statue? This is today's paper. Today's 27 on the Metro newspaper. I am not concerned about this woman because they say that she did not deliver all the money that they donated during the fundraising as at that time. My focus is on this criminal. He died 300 years ago, but his death still has impact on what is known as Africa. Let's continue. Costin Edward made his fortune through human suffering. Did you hear that word? This is BBC. BBC nothing article you, and I think I've shared the article, to all the platforms. Let's see, so that in case they ever feel like Kafunrai, because I know a lot of educated people, elite, amonia tala nimoto, little shaking. Facebook will really mess around and okay, I think I can post a comment now. Yeah. So that is the link there. I'm going to post it on my reflector and listen. This program should end at 1 o'clock because I'm back with Anita again, so I don't want to burn too much of my energy. But I'm going to need the break. I'm going to none of that in the paper. So I'm going to move swiftly. Kí ló ń pè ní human suffering? Tí bá sọ pé human suffering. Are we suffering in Nigeria? I'm sure a lot of you will say yes. There are various sources and kinds of suffering based on his own vast research. The author characterized 3 kinds of man's suffering: physical, pain, somatic disease, physical, hardship, mental disorder. Mental disorder ni dúpọ̀ nítìrì àti ìjìnlẹ̀ àti gbogbo àwọn tó wà lábẹ́ wọn. They have mental disorder because they are seeing things and they are hearing things, and to them they believe that those things are real even though they are not real. So they have mental disorder. Irú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn a máa classify wọn as mental disorder people. And if you're one of them and you're watching me as well, you are mentally disordered. And illnesses. And there's another kind of suffering which is now of our own. Ìyẹn làwa máa ń dìmú jù. Ìyẹn gangan ni the backbone of our problem in Africa. And I'm sure everybody knows the one I'm talking about. Ta ló lè gẹ́sẹ̀ kí n tó sọ? Èyí tó jẹ́ the main kókó. Mo ti fún yín ní méjì. Ta ló lè gẹ́sẹ̀ the third one? The first one mo ní physical, pain, somatic disease. Ọlọ́mọ àyíká ní àìsàn. Àìsàn kan ló wà lára Akérédolú ló fi sá lọ sí Germany tó lọ gba treatment. Mo sọ pé the next one is physical again. Hardship, mental disorder and illness. The last one, ta ló lè gẹ́sẹ̀? Spiritual. lack of meaningful life and moral dilemmas. So we are people that we have been told that toba tegbe ba dun anything o gbodo koko attach emo spiritual but omo e tu wa ba mi nínú Bible is part of why a lot of us are saying these things are there, but it is not the only problem. And I think I should give you some kind of something that I read again just to link that quickly with this conversation. Lori spiritual. Oh my girl, tell me, oh you boy, Shama sọ pé spiritual attack ló ṣe tí bá ka article ìtàn masari kan yẹn briefly. Shama sọ pé physical hardship or mental disorder. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ okay ká ṣe báyìí. The first physical, number one, ìyẹn ni pain, somatic disease. The second physical, yẹn wọ́n spell it as FPSYCHICLA. It's the same thing, is it? No. Yeah. Look, wọ́n spell it differently. Again, look, what pronunciation in lay? Psychical. Pronunciation in yato. It means pronounce it the same way. Let's go and look for that pronunciation.
Psychical.
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 It means mo long. Ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀kọ́ yìnbó ṣe yàn léṣe. Ó yàtọ̀ sí number one tí mo sọ pé physical. Eléyìí wọ́n wá pé spelling ẹ̀yẹ yàtọ̀. Because this one is PSYCHICAL.
Psychical.
Kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀?
Psychical.
Tàbá ní.
Psychical.
That is meaning of
psychical.
Relating to a special mental ability. So Dúpọ̀ Onítìrí wà lábẹ́
psychical.
Ìjìnlẹ̀ wà lábẹ́
psychical.
Kalẹ̀ Jayé wà lábẹ́
psychical.
Wálé Àlè wà lábẹ́
psychical.
Ayọ̀ Brown wà lábẹ́
psychical.
Liz Dada wà lábẹ́
psychical.
Gbogbo àwọn tó ń gbọ́ wọn tó believe pé wọ́n ti gba òmìnira 2022 gbogbo wọn wà ní abẹ́
psychical.
They are what?
Psychical.
So now let's come back again here. So it's number one is physical. Tibati katon ẹ kò sọ pé Koiki tó kà yìí ó wà lábẹ́ number one, which is physical. The second one ni psychical. Number two ìyẹn ni hardship, mental disorder àti illness. Number three ni spiritual attack. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré kà fún yín. Tí bá ti ń kà ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ fi síbẹ̀ pé number one lèmi mú, number two. I want to see your response. Gbogbo yín pátápátá. Paramedics saved me. My life talking me down from the bridge. Talking ni o kàn ṣe taking. Paramedic wọ́n save ayé òun, wọ́n save ẹ̀mí òun. Talking me down from the bridge. Mo ti ka article yẹn o. This is now the article. A woman who nearly jumped off a bridge has thanked a paramedic for saving her life by stopping at the scene. Full stop. Lauren Elizabeth, 23, said she had been struggling with her mental health and decided to end her life by leaping over the overpass in Canterbury, Kent. But thanks to a 999 worker who was off duty and just happened to be passing, she can now watch her two children aged 6 and 4 grow up. Full stop. This was the only way I could think of getting the bad thoughts out of my head, said Lauren Elizabeth, 23 years old, who was struggling after the hospitalization of her mother and problems with her ex-partner. Full stop. I remember standing on the bridge, Odurolori Bridge. I was going to jump, Ohunfefo. I was in a very bad place. I was smoking a cigarette. I'm later nínú article ìgbé kan ṣe cigarette ló fà, but wọ́n kàn sọ pé cigarette. I was smoking a cigarette, and for me, as soon as it was finished, that is when I was going to jump and commit suicide. As she finished the cigarette, the woman pulled up in a car. I was crying. Elizabeth Lauren went on. She said, ìyẹn 999 worker tó wà ní off duty tó park mọ́tò. Are you okay? Òyìnbó tá máa ń lò London ní bó tẹ̀ wá okay wá máa bí ẹ pé are you okay? ó bá máa lówó lọ́wọ́ are you okay ó bá máa kú lọ are you okay so ní immigration problem are you okay náà ni ẹni tó bá wà okay ẹ tètè sọ síta o. And I said I am fine leave me alone kí ló dé mo mọ̀ ẹ́ rí ni. But she said I am going to pull around the corner bí ibi tí yẹn fẹ́ páàkì sí kò safe ó gbọ́dọ̀ mọ́tò máa lọ gbá òun náà dànù. It was all a bit of blur, but the next thing I saw was police pull up, and I was in such a state. Elizabeth Lauren was given emergency mental health care at 2 hospitals. Then had a follow-up support, from crisis team. Full stop. Now she is proud. Inú ẹ̀ wá ń dùn padà nísìn. To say she has turned her life around. She tracked her heroin down online on lo cocaine to thank for the crucial intervention. Àwọn tí wọ́n tètè gba cocaine tí ẹ̀yin ọmọ kéékèèké ń fà ní Nàìjíríà torí yín dàrú ẹ̀ túbọ̀ máa fà á. If it wasn't for the paramedic who stopped that night, I wouldn't have got the help I needed, she said. I owe everything. It can really help to know that people care. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. My question is, can we link this to spiritual attack? That's what I just want to ask. Question meta. Can we say that Lauren was having a spiritual attack? Why do we link everything to spiritual attack in that messed up country? You can see why I've told you I am not one of those your blogging platform. I break things down to your understanding. That was not spiritual attack. She was going through a lot. Kí ló ń go through gangan? Ex-partner, ìwọ náà ní ọkọ nínú ilé ní UK. Ó ti fi ẹ́ sílẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ. Ó máa develop a lot of stress. Ìjẹ́ méjì ẹ ti jẹ́ yọkan. Níbí bá wàá máa tọ́jú ẹ̀. Ní Nàìjíríà any spiritual attack ni. We link everything to spiritual attack. Ó ní màmá òun sick. Even though pé wọ́n tọ́jú màmá yẹn ó wà lọ́spítù. Tàbí family ẹ̀ máa wà lọ́spítù tínú ẹ̀ máa dùn. Mo kàn fún yín nìyẹn just because interfere débi báyìí kò ju pé à ń kà nǹkankan bọ̀ lọ human suffering. There is spiritual attack, but not everything you link to spiritual attack. In Nigeria, we have linked every goddamn thing to spiritual attack. Ẹ mọ̀ pé mo ti ka paper yìí ni mo ṣe lè link ẹ̀ mọ́ bíbáyìí. So now ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí slave trade because I have half an hour to the end of this broadcast. Edward Custon made his fortune from 3 things: physical, àti kí ni mo pè lẹ́ǹkan àti spiritual. So àwọn make owó látara wa wọ́n wá gbé gbogbo nǹkan lé wa lọ́rùn nísìn, and that is why we are where we are today. Tẹ̀síwájú move àmọ́ èmi ló kàn kí ló sọ bóun sókè ó ní kí ni mò ń gbọ́.
Torí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀ ń ṣe
kí ló ṣe.
lè sí aṣọ dára wa.
Ó ní ká má ṣọ̀tá ara wa.
Mo kàn ní ó tásìkò.
Ó tásìkò pé kí ni.
Ọ̀rọ̀ ọjọ́ orí kọ́.
Ọjọ́ orí kọ́.
Tó bá jẹ́ ti ìwé ni.
Mo kà dáadáa.
Mo kàwé o.
Ẹ kàn má rí rìsọ́ọ̀tì mi ni ẹ má ẹ̀ka tí kú gba rìsọ́ọ̀tì mi. Tó bá kàwé dáadáa kí ló ń sáfá kó ìfẹ́ kẹ́kẹ́ rí rìsọ́ọ̀tì ẹ̀. Mo kí ẹ just reason.
Èmi lẹ̀gbọ́n.
Èmi lẹ̀gbọ́n. Ṣé rí gbogbo eléyìí tí àwọn Yorùbá bá ti gbá nǹkan báyìí? You are so excited. But the bigger picture of the problem is not Tinubu. The bigger problem was when people like UK, àwọn other countries, wọ́n lò wá fún ẹrú. Wọ́n lo ìran bàbá ńlá wa, wọ́n fi ṣẹrú. Ìwọ tún wá fẹ́ ká wà nínú that same system nítorí pé Tinubu. Gbogbo tí Tinubu máa lò láyé kò ní another 100 years lórí ẹ̀ bó ṣe wà yẹn. Kò ń ṣe pé because it will be 100 and something yẹn. Tó bá máa fi ṣe tán ní 2027, 87 years old. Tó bá fún lẹ́ran méjì, ẹyọ kan ló máa jẹ. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ future tó máa save wa, tó máa secure wa. Ẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu. mo ti sọ meaning human suffering. So máà tí à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀bọ̀ lẹ́ǹkan tí mo ní mo bá pàdé nínú paper ìyẹn Edward Caston wọ́n já ìrìn yẹn wálẹ̀ nígbà tá à ń ṣe protest gan tó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ ní June 2020 lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó pa George Floyd l'Amẹ́ríkà. Edward Caston made his fortune. Ó make kí ló ń pè ní fortune nílẹ̀ Yorùbá? Fortune kí ni meaning ẹ̀? Ẹ fún mi ní meaning fortune. True human suffering. Gbogbo tí wọ́n fi ń pè ní èèyàn, gbogbo tó fi ń pè àwọn ilé náà léèyàn, suffering nìyí ni o. Gbogbo tí Tinubu fi jẹ́ èèyàn, ara suffering nìyí ni. Èyí tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà àtàwátàwá ń ta. Gbogbo àwọn politicians, true human suffering. Because mo lè link ẹ̀ náà pẹ̀lú wọn bẹ́ẹ̀. True human suffering. The whole Nigeria today, those that are making it, are using you. And that's why they'll say, tó bá ti ní problem. No, don't go to church. No, don't go to hospital. Lọ sí church. But Akeredolu ṣe lọ sí church. Why did Akeredolu run to Germany? Why was he not in the church? Though, wọ́n ṣe church fún because ìyàwó ẹ̀ ó jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé Betty. Ìyàwó ẹ̀ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé mo bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká máa gbọ́ Tinubu yẹn lọ kì í sílẹ̀.
ọ̀dẹ̀ bí méjì tá a máa ní ìkan ṣáájú gbẹ̀gbọ́n. àpèmọ́ra ẹni dẹ̀yìn lágbètè mídìrí.
So
mo ti ń sìn yín bọ̀. ọjọ́ ti pẹ́.
So ó jẹ́ kóun náà jẹ́ ó ti ń sìn wá bọ̀.
ẹgbẹ́ kìíní wá èmi ló kàn.
Okay. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀. Everybody be happy. Everybody excited. But all this excitement, hold on. All this excitement is just a very, very limited time. Ó ti wà ní calm down. The first 4 years, ó ti ń lọ. By the time the 4 years is done and nothing has happened, then he will be asking for another second term. But the human suffering, Edward Caston made his fortune through human suffering. Between 1672, kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ Nigeria in 1672. Are you listening? 1672, there was nothing called Nigeria. Up to 1689, ships, ọkọ̀ ojú omi, are believed to have transported wọ́n kó àwọn èèyàn about 80,000 men, women, and children from Africa to America. Slave trade. However, in the city he called his home, his memory has been honored for centuries. On his death in 1721, there was nothing called Nigeria as of 1721. Africa never had a border. In 1721, 1884, ni wọ́n ṣe Berlin Conference, if I'm right. Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference took place in 1884. So even as at the time, tí arákùnrin tó fi kú, on his death in 1721, Africa did not have borders. Ní border. As at that time, everything was open. We were trading with each other, but we had a kingdom, Ọ̀yọ́ Empire. Ẹ ti máa gbọ́ Ọ̀yọ́ Empire. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́? Because kò sí border. So nígbà tó di pé wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń jalè, lọ́n kàvẹ̀, wọ́n kàvẹ̀, kí ló kàv ní 1884. After tí eléyìí ti kú, like another century, every century there will be another problem. We had ourselves to work with within that continent. We were all doing very well. I mean, even if there were poor, disease and all that, had to develop jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. There was different empire. Benin Empire. Even the North has their own empire. Everybody was doing very well. In the little that we have, we were trading. We might not be perfect, but we have the better understanding than àwọn òyìnbó tẹ̀ ń rí lẹ́ni. When it comes to knowledge, we had the knowledge. Because tó bá differ as at that time, if I'm a son tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ fún yín, just like Bishop pushing Google nísìn ó ń gbé jáde is binary. So some of you are telling us we should leave all this because you now been told after so many years in 19th century that there's a creation called Nigeria through amalgamation. Then forced everybody that were living separately. That is why this world kò ní sí ìsinmi ní ilé ayé yìí o. There will never be peace in this world. We were the one that had what it takes. Wọ́n gba gbogbo yẹn kúrò lọ́wọ́ wa. And now you want us to keep Nigeria. What are you keeping Nigeria for? In 1721, this Edward Caston died. Even as at the time, the Oyinbo people, the colonial as at that time, èèyàn mẹ́fà ò bá kú, their mission must be completed. Because when you look at 1721 and you look at when Nigeria was amalgamated in 1914, that means that as at that empire time, as at that colonial era time, it is the colonial era. We are now in the another generation with some energy. Energy oríṣiríṣi ló wà ń ta nísìn. Ibi tó bá mọ̀ dé ni. Má rò pé ìrọ̀rọ̀ church là ń sọ nísìn. Ibi tó bá mọ̀ dé ni. Mo sọ fún yín pé ìtagbédání, there's a lot of energy out there. And some energy cannot overshadow another energy. Wọ́n máa try ni. They will do everything that will try to bring that energy down. Do you all know that something? Mo post àwọn kankan ní orí platform mi ní ìjẹta. Let me take your mind there a little bit. Things they happen. Things they happen. Àwọn òyìnbó yìí, they are trying. Wọ́n fẹ́ to rewrite history yẹn, but kò possible. Wọ́n ti lo ìgbà tí wọ́n tán. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ allow another era. Ìgbà míì gbọ́dọ̀ tún jáde. Tó máa run for another, only God knows, billions of years. Ìyẹn làwọn sáré fún nísìn, wọ́n ò fi gbà. Bọ́ fẹ́ bọ́ kọ̀, wọ́n máa ṣe kíni, wọ́n máa accept fate wọn. Wọ́n bá lo èmi ló kàn, kọ́ tún lo ẹlòmíì èmi ló kàn, kódà kọ́ lo 200 èmi ló kàn. At some point, energy yẹn máa dé. Kí ló dé tẹ́ ṣe ń ríran? Àwọn tó jẹ́ pure celestial, ẹ̀yin kérúbù, kí ló dé tí ẹ ṣe ń connect ẹ̀mí yín pẹ̀lú another mystical things tó wà lẹ́yìn? Ẹ rò pé ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ yìí ọ̀rọ̀ kékeré ni. Mo fẹ́ fún yín ní information kan tí mo pick. Àwa ń think deep ni and looking at what is happening. Àwọn ìbò kọ̀ọ̀kan náà ti ń sọ̀rọ̀. Whether you like it or not, ìran àwọn yìí gbọ́dọ̀ dìde. Tí ìran yóò bá dìde, ẹ̀ ní ìsinmi láyé. Ẹ ní àwọn immigration lọ káàkiri. Díẹ̀ ló kù. Ẹ jẹ́ kí fún yín ní information. I'm sure ta ló gbọ́ pé asteroid kan dé. How many people follow that? I posted it on my timeline. Mo ní kẹ́yẹ́ máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn blogging. Ẹ dúró sí ibi tí ẹ máa rí tó ń lọ. There's something that came up. How many people are aware that there's an asteroid that have returned back? Ẹ má parọ́, èèyàn mélòó ló gbọ́ pé asteroid kan dé? Ẹ máa pé Koiki olótú yà sí ìtorí ọ̀nà. Asteroid. How many people is aware of that? Asteroid kan has returned back to space. Ó ti padà dé. Oh, ìwọ náà gbọ́? Yorùbá nation ó ti consume gbogbo wa gan. Let me first give you báwọn ṣe presented. Ṣé láwọn òyìnbó yìí presentation tí wọ́n táwọn bá presented tán àwọn ọlọ́gbọ́n tó lè rí nǹkan from another angle àwọn wá break it down fún yín. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n kà fún yín. Asteroid dust debris likely found as returned NASA space capsule opened. This is what we're talking about. Capsule. Oh my God. Okay, sorry, má bínú. Capsule yìí. Capsule ten rí. This. It returned back after 7 years. according to what we are told in the orbit lẹ́yìn ọdún méje. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló lè ní làákàyè tí mo fẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí. You must be in another spiritual realm, but àwọn tó jẹ́ tó ń rí nǹkan tó ń mọ̀ nǹkan wọ́n mọ̀ pé Sherry, there's what they called Bennu. Bennu, B-E-N-N-U. B, Bravo, Echo, November, November, uniform. Sherry Bennu yeah, is Bennu is an ancient Egyptian deity. Only lay picture ni. Ẹ máa wọ́n dà pé mo post about nǹkan báyìí but mo ṣe explanation ẹ̀ because kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló lè ní full understanding bí ilé ayé ṣe ń operate. Ìtọ́kọ̀ fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ ni pé báwọn ṣe fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ ẹ ṣáà máa jẹun ẹgbẹ́ mo ti jẹun nísìn ẹ̀rọ bá ti jẹun kí Koiki ó ti jẹun kí ló tún ronú fún. Òkè ò lówó lọ́wọ́ ó dà lọ ṣiṣẹ́ díẹ̀. They are taking your mind away from the real reality of the world. They are creating a lot of problems. TUC bá fẹ́ divert mind gbogbo wa nísìn wọ́n mọ̀ tán máa ṣe gbogbo media àwọn dẹ̀ máa pick it and they will divert your mind and they will put this your mind tẹ́ fi ń ronú pé ebi ń pa tẹ́lẹ̀ yẹn obi yàn ní pẹ́ mọ́. Ṣé mọ̀ pé ta ló gbọ́ nípa flood Libya? Mo fẹ́ connect dot kan nísìn pẹ̀lú asteroid today yẹn. Ta ló gbọ́ pé flood ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Libya? Ẹ gbọ́ náà. Ẹ gbọ́ pé omi ya lu gbogbo Libya. Ta ló gbọ́? Àwọn èèyàn sí lórí program. Okay, ìyá mi grandma. Àwọn èèyàn gbọ́ international news o. Okay, Yorùbá nation. Now, ṣẹ́rí flood yẹn tí obìnrin bá fẹ́ bímọ kí ló máa ń kọ́kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀? Tí obìnrin bá fẹ́ bímọ obìnrin àwọn ìyá wa kọ́nà bá wà pẹ̀lú gbogbo àbáwọn sísí ọmọ kékeré wọn ti ń bímọ nísìn kí ló máa kọ́kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀? Ìyá máa bọ́ sẹ́dẹ̀ ìyá mi gbé mi lékẹ́ ti kúrò lórí program mi bàbá wa Stephen ní yes àwọn gbọ́ tí obìnrin bá fẹ́ bímọ kí ló máa ń kọ́kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ tó máa fi mọ̀ pé ọmọ yẹn ti dé pé ó ti mú mi. Adomira flood tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Libya ẹ connected pẹ̀lú asteroid today yẹn. New energy is about to arrive, has arrived rather. Omi tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Libya yẹn ọmọ tuntun fẹ́ jáde òun ni asteroid yẹn. Liquid breakage, you're right, that's it. Omi á dà. And omi mi ti fọ́. Omi tó fọ́ ní Libya òun ni the dot sí in tó padà dé from the space. Bennu is the ó wá pé àwọn òyìnbó yìí ó wá pé asteroid tó dé yẹn ó pè ní Bennu. Bennu is the ancient Egyptian deity linked with the sun creation and the rebirth. Kí ló ń pè ní rebirth? Téèyàn bá kú nísìn ẹlòmíà bímọ wọ́n á ní orúkọ kan wá link ẹni tó kú yẹn mọ́ pé ó padà dé. The water and the pains will be the force. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Jack Olúṣọlá. Libya omi tó fọ́ ní Libya yẹn mẹ́sẹ̀gì ti Libya yẹn òun ni asteroid tó padà dé yẹn. Àtúnbí ẹ ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ bá mi fà. Ẹni gbọ́rọ̀ ilé nínú church yìí. Alright, tẹ́ bá fẹ́ mọ̀ ṣé àná àwọn Christian ní bíbá ẹ jẹ́ ń fún ní verse kan kẹ́ lọ kà. Ẹ lọ sí Koiki èwo ló tún gbé wá báyìí torí Ọlọ́run bá dá wa lórí irú ọmọ yìí. Mò ń bọ̀. Àwọn òyìnbó yìí, it no go better for them. ẹ rò pé ẹ kó gbogbo àwọn slaves ẹ rò kí lẹ rò pé bàbá Akíntóyè ṣe ní pé ká lọ kó tọrọ àforíjì àbí káwọn àwọn bàbá ńlá wa yẹn kó foríjì wa again mo tún fẹ́ fún yín ní another link tó padà sí ti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá níbo ni ọba Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ wà nísìn ta ló mọ ibi tó ọba wà nísìn presently ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ mọ yẹn náà ìbámu Yorùbá ní gbogbo wa ẹ̀dẹ̀ ń wò mí ràn báyìí ta ló mọ ibi tí ọba wà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn Ọ̀jájá the second níbo ló wà àgbà kọlù ta ló ń pè ta ló mọ ibi tó bá wà ẹni tó dẹ̀ ń pè ní ṣe ti disturb àwọn tó wà lórí Koiki Media ta ló mọ ibi tó bá wà ní sẹ́ẹ̀ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ẹ máa sanwó gan níjọ́ Saturday yìí o ẹ lọ mọ́wó dání o ta ló mọ ibi tó bá wà nísìn. mo ń try la Ọbádé hotel DJ Ray in seclusion ọba ti lọ sí Ìgbàlà in seclusion àwọn bá wá ọmọ tó connect but wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kí Yorùbá kó lọ the world is going to be mo ní mo fẹ́ fún ní revolution kan tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá gbọ́ mi mọ́ lórí Koiki Media èèyàn kan ti ń pè ní wọ́n ti disturb line yẹn o ọ̀rẹ́ jẹ́ kí n fún yín lédè Revolution 12 prophecy is about the Holy Spirit who lives in the heaven. She is the woman who has come down from heaven and has been incarnated into human flesh. She is now alive on the earth, just like the Yeshua was born in the flesh. The Holy Spirit has also been born in the flesh. Ìpẹ̀bí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ntí orúkọ tí mo wá gangan náà nìyẹn. Ìgbàlẹ̀, ọba wà ní Ìpẹ̀bí. Omi tó burst, èmi náà mọ ilé tẹ́lẹ̀ o, wàláì. But you know, wá knowledge ni. Ògbérù iṣẹ́ báyìí dání. Wàá máa wá knowledge, wàá máa connect the dots. Ìjà tó ń lọ ní Russia àti Ukraine, often side fún owó ni, is another thing entirely. Things they happen. You don't expect your church to tell you all this. Ọba wà ní Ìpẹ̀bí, àbí, yeah. Omi tó break in Libya is a part of something. Tó bá yẹ pé rọ́mọ̀ pa àwọn tó jẹ́ àgbà wòlíì gidi àbí àfà àbí àwọn babaláwo wá confirm ẹ̀ tó bá ní wọn lọ́wọ́ tó bá ní àgbà babaláwo lọ́wọ́ tó mọ̀ ní kó lọ sọ́dọ̀ babaláwo torí kò ń ṣe gbogbo àlàfẹ́ lọ sí side yẹn tó bá ní àgbà wòlíì gidi kò ń ṣe àwọn wòlíì jẹun tó ń gbà lórí social media lọ sọ́dọ̀ wọn sọ pé bọ̀bọ̀ kan parọ́ kan lórí social media lẹ́ni tó bá yẹ pé òótọ́ ni ọba Solomon ẹ pè ẹ̀ tẹ́ni nọ́mbẹ̀ ẹni kó ìkísàn kankan pé kó connect the dot omi tó break ní Libya àti asteroid tó dé láti òkè lọ́hùn pé kó fún yín ní kí ni meaning ẹ̀ kí ló translate sí ẹ mọ̀ pàwọn náà kọ̀ rí omi yẹn pé omi òkè tómi bá fọ́ lábẹ́ obìnrin tó fẹ́ bímọ kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ kí ni the next step tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣé èmi ò tí ì rí ibi tómi yẹn ti ń fọ́ bọ̀ tí bá tẹ̀lé mò ní sọ fún yín àwọn tó jẹ́ ọkùnrin láàrin wa ṣé ti rí ibi tí omi ìyàwó yín ti fọ́ tó fi bímọ ta ló ti rí báwo ló ṣe pọ̀ sí tó máa ń pọ̀ ẹ̀yin màmá wa mo ṣe bá yín o ẹ̀yin màmá àgbàlagbà ṣé tí àwọn obìnrin bá fẹ́ bímọ ṣé omi yẹn tó lè kún kọ́ọ̀pù yìí omi tó ń wà lára ṣé mọ̀ pé omi yẹn gangan ló ń gbé ẹni tó wà ní inú kùn ìyẹn bébì tó wà nínú kùn yẹn ẹ mọ̀ pé inú omi yẹn lòún wà so tómi yẹn bá fọ́ lòún máa jáde mo wá ń béèrè pé báwo lomi yẹn ṣe máa ń pọ̀ sí ẹ wá máa wọ́ndà pé kí ló dé tí mo ṣe ń líǹkì ọ̀rọ̀ yìí báyẹn because omi Libya yẹn omi yẹn pọ̀ because kò ń ṣe omi kékeré àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ is a lot of water because the world is going to change. I have just 10 minutes to the end of the program. Every year on August 8th, an astrological event called Lion's Gate Portal open in the sky. Astrologers consider this an opportune day for manifestation, concentrating on what you want to make it reality. Kí lè rò pé àwọn church ń lò ọ̀nà Ọlọ́run àgbàdúrà yín, because there is energy in every day that we are living. There's different energy. And ẹgbàwẹ̀ Koiki wọ́n gbàwẹ̀ àbó ti fún nǹkan lówó tó ń bẹ gbàwẹ̀ yẹn ni ó yẹ kó máa gbàwẹ̀ gbogbo kíní ẹ̀ ní energy tiẹ̀. Everything has an energy. But because àwa ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa lọ́hùn, mo sọ fún yín pé what is suffer wa human suffering. So àwa link gbogbo ẹ̀ mọ́ spiritual nìkan, but it is not about spiritual alone. There's a lot happening around the world. The world is going to change. There's an energy shift. One more. But they are doing everything to slow it down. Slow down, it could take some years. It could take another years or decade. But whatever it takes, things will change itself. The Revelation 12 prophecy is about the Holy Spirit who lives in the heaven. She's the woman who has come down from the heaven. There's what they call the Lion Gate manifestation, a recent phenomenon, but the event has its due regard in the ancient civilization. Níbo ni civilization ti jáde? Wọ́n ní omi yẹn wọ́n máa ń pè ní amniotic fluid scientifically. Ẹ ṣe gan-an ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, Jacolushola. Níbo ni civilization ti jáde? Níbo ni civilization ló ti jáde? Àwọn olóni jẹ́ jáde. Ìyàn kan ní Africa, Egypt. Okay? Ṣé ẹ agree pẹ̀lú ẹ̀? Pé civilization jáde wọ́n ní Ethiopia. Okay? So it's still within Africa. Kí ló dé tí wọ́n pe asteroid tó dé yẹn, kí ló pè ní Bennu? Kí ló dé tó ṣe pè ní Bennu? Ṣé wọ́n mọ̀ pé Bennu ló yẹ káwọn pè ní? Ìyàn kan ní Ilé Ifẹ̀. It's still that same continent. Ẹ rántí pé mo ní ìgbà tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀kọ bọ̀bọ̀ tí ó kú yìí pé kó tó ó kú ní 1721, but as at 1721 yẹn wọ́n ti gba intan pé ní Africa tó break ẹ̀ ní Berlin 1884. Ẹ mọ̀ pé mo dárúkọ Berlin 1884. So when we go back to scientists at the United States Space Agency, NASA, found a black dust and debris when they opened the space capsule that recently returned to the Earth. Láti 2016, ní kíní ẹ̀ ti wà lókè. Ó tún continue journey, but ó kàn deliver baby ni, which is the asteroid. Ó pick ẹ̀, ó drop ẹ̀ sílẹ̀. But kó tó drop ẹ̀ sílẹ̀, there must be some kind of welcoming energy, which is the Libya tí mo connect pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. There must be something, because okay, tíyàwó ẹ̀ bá tó bá lóyún tó wà nínú ilé, all of a sudden ọmọ yẹn kick, kí lẹ máa ṣe? Báwo lẹ ṣe máa mọ̀ pé ọmọ yẹn ṣì wà alive? Tíyàn bá lóyún nísìn nínú, tí ẹ mọ̀ pé ọmọ ó gbọ́dọ̀ máa kick. Bàbá ẹ bá mi mú mi bẹ́yẹn, kí ló bá yọ mí lẹ́nu o, èmi kọ́ mo ránṣẹ́ ìbéyẹn lẹ fi síbẹ̀. Tí obìnrin bá wà nínú ilé tí ọmọ yẹn kick for few hours, would the parent be concerned? Ṣé omi yẹn ti jáde ni, ṣó gbẹ ni, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? So omi yẹn lọ́kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ jáde, which is the Libya tí mo connect pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Báwo làwọn òyìnbó ìṣe wa mọ̀ pé asteroid yẹn àwọn láti pè ní Bennu, Bennu? Báwo làwọn ṣe mọ̀? Níbo làwọn ti rí knowledge yẹn tó fi pè ní Bennu? Ṣé àwọn gbọ́n jù wá lọ ni? Báwo làwọn ṣe mọ̀ pé orúkọ báyìí làwọn máa fún? Báwo la ṣe máa ń fúnra wa lórúkọ nílé? Kí ni ó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ kó tó fún ẹ lórúkọ? Ṣó ti béèrè rí lọ́wọ́ àwọn fámílì ẹ pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ní fámílì mi tẹ́ fi ń pè mí ní Adéyẹmí, tẹ́ fi ń pè mí ní Ọláyọmí? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Èmi mọ reason tó ṣe pè mí ní Ọláyọmí. Ṣé wọ́n mọ̀ tọ̀dọ̀ tiẹ̀? Àbọ́kọ̀ pé ní Kúnlé and you can just accept it. Ṣó mọ meaning tó ṣe pè ní Kúnlé? Ṣó mọ meaning tó ṣe pè ní Táíwò, ní Kẹ́hìndé? so táwọn náà fà pé lè ní orúkọ kan orúkọ tó pè yẹn ló ń pè ní Bennu yẹn kẹrẹ is a carbon-Sirius asteroid Apollo group discovered by the Liner project of 11 in September 1999. It is potentially a hazardous object that is listed on the Century Risk. How did they know that word Bennu? Because Bennu fúnra rẹ̀, that word Bennu, I got to carry program in this thing. I got to go now. Where is it again? I will have to explain this, mo kàn link ẹ padà. Apparently, in time discuss but the other one. Now, how NASA ẹgbọ́n bíbá tíyàn bá bímọ nísìn do you do everything to protect that baby? Bíyàn bá bímọ nísìn tí ẹ bá bímọ nísìn okay let me put it this way tíyàn bá bímọ nísìn tó bá sọ pé wọ́n rí ọmọ yẹn báwo ló ṣe máa react ọmọ kókó tó ṣe bí ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹ máa ń jí ọmọ gbé lọ́spítù o lè ní ẹ̀yin nurses ẹ̀yin midwife ní Nàìjíríà tó bá jí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ tuntun kí ló máa ṣe you will be very angry but tó bá máa sọ pé kó má bàa jí ọmọ yẹn gbé what are you going to do o máa protect them. How NASA is protecting its precious asteroid Bennu one protected ọmọ tuntun ni ó gbọ́dọ̀ protected. On Sunday last week a capsule carrying a one-of-a-kind sample from the near-Earth asteroid Bennu, B-E-N-N-U, came through the atmosphere and landed at Utah Desert. Ó land the desert, but reaction kó tó land yẹn ó ti ripple effect ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Libya because desert ló ń land sí. Let me leave it that way for now. I wanted to touch on something. Mo ti fún yín ní background. Let's just finish it up with the ẹ̀jẹ̀ká fi yẹn sílẹ̀. Ìyẹn ó deep gan fún. It's not for everybody, because your mind must be very, very clear and understanding. Àwọn tó jẹ́ àgbà, àwọn àgbàlagbà, ọmọ tí mo ń sọ, ọmọ tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ dé. So Ọlọ́run ní ká sọ̀rọ̀ tán. So now let's go back to who owned Katzen? A silent clause. When Edward Katzen died in 1721, we can be fairly certain that before long his body had disintegration into dust. To talk of Katzen, there's a meaningless unless we recognize that our knowledge of that long dead figure will always be dependent upon how we read, interpret, understand the historical record, which is made up of histories, biographies, memoirs, documents, images, statues, artifacts. Àwa tí ń build the artifact 700 years artifact wa wọ́n tọ́jú ẹ̀ wọ́n ní wọ́n arrest sculpture ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó wà lọ́wọ́ London Metropolitan Police is 700 years old. Àdẹ̀nọ́bà kọ̀ọ̀kan tó sọ fún wa pé tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá dá padà gbogbo tá à ń bá yín ṣe ní bíbá a máa stop ẹ̀. Sculpture wa wọ́n arrest ẹ̀ ó wà ní sculpture 700 years old. Ó wà lọ́wọ́ London Metropolitan Police láti Ilé-Ifẹ̀ yọ 700 minus ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà níbo ni Nàìjíríà wà àníṣe ó kù díẹ̀ ni nìbọn ró mo ní mi ni last man stand lórí ìrìn àjò yìí ẹ rò pé mo ń ṣeré so ibo la kàdé and because most of the historical record was created, constructed, produced or manufactured long after Katzen's death, the figure Katzen will be a matter of interpretation and therefore also a subject of political contestation. So in total of one is pé èrè tẹ́ ń rí yẹn ó lè má jẹ́ èrè tẹ́ni yẹn gangan because ní evidence ẹ̀ because kò sí àwòrán ẹ̀ gangan wọ́n kàn gbé sí orí wọ́n dẹ̀ gbé jáde. And I'm not going to talk about the other one, but I'm sure a lot of you know that area. Èrè kan tí gbogbo wa máa ń mo ní lọ níbẹ̀. Image kan wà tẹ́yìn náà máa ń lọ síbì kan tẹ́ máa lọ ń wò. I'll leave it like that. Kò ní làákàyè kò gbé sórí. Àkúrò lọ́dọ̀ tiwa à lọ síbì kan tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa à fún ní value. Arákùnrin wa ń jẹ́ ká mọ̀ nísìn pé sometimes most of those historical record were created. They were created. They were not just created, they were constructed. Just like Nigeria was constructed. Love Nigeria, it was a creation not from God. Tí pastor ẹ̀kọ́ kan bá sọ pé Nigeria is from God, má ṣépè fún pastor yẹn débi pé ẹ̀mí mímọ́ kọ́kọ́ ló create Nigeria. Kò síbi kankan in the spiritual realm. Kò sí anywhere in the spiritual realm tó sọ pé wọ́n create Nigeria. In the spiritual realm, not on the physical realm. Because everything is from the spiritual. Kó tó di pé ó máa di physical. Bomb bastard. They love Nigeria. Love Nigeria, it will kill you one day. Tolulope ló ti lé dà nísìn. Nigeria ló sponsor Tolulope tó fi di the first helicopter combat pilot. Ọmọ Yorùbá ni ní Okun ní Kogi State. Wọ́n pàdánù ni. Tàwa ni wọ́n máa pawọ́ dànù ni. Ẹ wá justice for Mohbad. Ẹ ti rí tán. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ pariwo Mohbad mọ́ nísìn. Ẹ tún máa mẹ́lò míì. Kọ́nà fọ́run kẹ. Lẹ́yìn kẹjẹ́ kọ́nà fọ́run kẹ kó máa bú ti. Ó kú nísìn. Problem ló tún dá sílẹ̀. Báwọn kan ṣe náà rí nínú ẹ̀mí làwọn kan ní àwọn máa bá yín jí ẹni tó ti rìn lọ tó ti lọ tiẹ̀. Ó ti rìnrìn àjò tiẹ̀ lọ. Àwa tó kù ní ká dí pẹ̀lú problem tó wà nílẹ̀. Justice for Mohbad. Ẹ máa rí lóòótọ́. Ó ti sú gbogbo yín nísìn. Ìjà tó fẹ́ wọlé spiritual realm. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni. I gotta go now because more time here. I'm gonna leave the rest for now. Mo kí gbogbo yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Ọláyọmí Kóìkì ni mò ń jẹ́. Lọ́gbàrá Elédùmarè. Ẹ jẹ́ ká pàdé ní aago 6 lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ní Saturday yìí, ní ọ̀la ní Thursday, àwọn group kan fi wá ṣe presentation kankan lórí platform wa ní aago 9 alẹ́. Wọ́n ní kí n sọ fún gbogbo yín bẹ́ẹ̀. So wọ́n máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí àwọn nǹkan kan tó fi ṣe ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Mo kàn kankan náà nǹkan máa sọ briefly just under 2 minutes. Ṣé yẹn lè ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà? Láíláí kò lè ṣẹlẹ̀. Tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀, I will die. Ilé tó ti kọ́, wọ́n wá ní problem, wọ́n máa dáwó. Can you imagine? Where is that now? Eléyìí, ó máa ń bájá sùn ní olórí burúkú. Bọ̀bọ̀ yìí, ní Australia, àwọn puppy, mo ṣeré o, ajá, puppy, àwọn ọmọ ajá. Ó ń bá wọn sùn àwọn ajá yẹn á tún wá kú á wá posters online things dey happen nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ láyé yìí ibi tó bá mọ̀ dé máa sọ pé ìwọ nìkan ló ní ẹ̀sìn bí àwọn nìkan lè sìn ẹ́ dànù wàá mọ̀ tọ́jú ẹ̀sìn tọ̀dọ̀ tiẹ̀ is for you and your family ọmọ bíi tí ìyàmá wà ní tábàárí a máa kà later. Ètò yìí important gangan mo ti sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn so mo fẹ́ kà fún yín tí mo ti wà ní ọ̀rẹ́ mi sìn tòun ní kọ́mí tí mo fẹ́ ṣe mo ṣe ń kánjú so báwa kẹ̀rì ara ìlú òyìnbó time ó wà very very important. Òun lélẹ̀ Metrobyte more than 80 new build homes will be demolished after developer discover a fault with their foundation. Ṣé rí reason tẹ́ máa fẹ́ link àwọn kan báyìí mọ́ Nàìjíríà. Nàìjíríà ó ní faulty foundation. Mo ń sọ fún yín ẹni kí n shut up, ẹni kí n dákẹ́, ẹni ara ń ta mí ni, ẹni mo níṣẹ́. No problem, mo níṣẹ́. Èyí tí mo ra ní iná, mo dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run. Kí ló dé tó ṣe fẹ́ demolish 80 new build homes? Ilé tó ti parí, wọ́n ti parí ẹ̀. Àwọn tó máa ra lé yẹn ti fún wọn lówó kọ́kọ́ kó wọnú bẹ̀. More than 80 new build homes will be demolished after developer discover a fault with their foundation. Ṣé Nigeria ní foundation problem or not? Oh, so foundation problem yẹn ká máa gbé amọ̀lé lórí, ká máa adjust ẹ̀, ká máa tẹ̀ báyìí, títí ìjọ kan náà ó máa padà wó náà ni. Ilé tá bá fi irọ́ kọ́ ó máa padà ṣe kí ni. The incomplete unoccupied properties gbọ́yé tọ́nà what? Potentially worth 40 million pounds. Even if Nigeria worth anything, foundation yẹn ti wà faulty, ó máa padà wó náà ni. It could be 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I don't know. It could be tomorrow, I don't know. mo ti fún yín ní èmi kúkú ríran mo sọ fún yín ní last year mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe wòlíì mo ń ṣàfà yín gbogbo ilẹ̀ láàfà lẹ ní wòlíì lẹ ní babaláwo èmi sọ tèmi bó ṣe wá sọ́kàn mi mo ṣe ń sọ ní last year mo náà máa jà ní ẹ̀dẹ̀ ní pé ẹ̀fẹ̀ jà no problem ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ṣe lọ báyìí ká máa bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ká máa ṣàlàyé nǹkan fúnra wa tó bá tásìkò kálukú á dìde. The incomplete unoccupied incomplete kò dẹ̀ tí wà occupy wọ́n wá dictate fault lára ẹ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ kó wọnú ilé báyìí o wọ́n fáwọn ní Nàìjíríà tó wà 40 wọ́n wá ní ká máa amend ẹ̀ kájọ máa gbé ẹ̀dẹ̀ sọ pé ó máa work lọ́nà wo níbo ló fẹ́ gbà work àwọn wá ń jáde Yorùbá world media ń jáde Yorùbá home base ń jáde independent media ń jáde ẹni rọ́lá ń pa no problem ẹlẹ́mi mo ti gbowó pa bí àyà ń jẹ gbowó bá ṣe tán ní sì máa pè bá mi ṣàlàfẹ́ lẹ́wà ṣé gbogbo ẹ wà òkè àánú wà òkè tóun àtúpẹ̀rẹ̀ lánàá báyìí mo má darúkọ má sọ pé o gbọ́ gbà tí mo pè gbowó ìyàn kan wà lórí program lánàá live mo pè gbowó òun wà lórí the other phone number mo pè gbowó lórí video call ẹni ẹ wà lórí program báyìí ẹ máa sọ pé èmi mo ti gbowó bí àyà ń jẹ àwọn ọmọ ìgbowó ló ṣe ní pé kí Yorùbá kó pín ẹ máa mọ̀ so the property potentially worth £40 million sterling tó wá jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ owó kékeré are part of the 1,593 home in Darling Green Estate in Greenbridge. Developer Barrett and David Whitson say 83 must be rebuilt after foundation were found to be insufficient given the geologic buyers have been notified. Àwọn tó ti rà wọ́n ti notify wọn. Àwa lá ní Nàìjíríà àdẹ̀nà wà 40 ẹja àdáwó àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà ní no shut up you cannot stay in London and tell us what to do. No problem. They play. Mo kí gbogbo ilé nǹkan sí kò ní bàjẹ́ fún gbogbo wa Oòduà gbé wa kò ní bí ọ̀dàlẹ̀ kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ẹ pàdé mi láago 6 Koiki Media bringing the world closer to your doorstep ọjọ́ náà kì í pẹ́ àtúntò ṣe 1 hour 25 minutes àdẹ̀ ti run 2 hours 26 minutes mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ilé nǹkan sí thank you so much everyone enjoy the rest of the afternoon a pàdé nírọ̀lẹ́ ká tún lọ ṣe other things as well mo kí gbogbo ilé nǹkan sí o shout out mo kí àwọn ìyàwó mi mo dẹ̀ kí àwọn ọmọ mi mo kí àtó bí mi lọ́mọ love you all bye for now ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí Mixlr thank you so much so kẹ́tù lọ ẹ̀yin náà lọ refresh àpàdé Koiki Media bye for now.